managers engaged in anti-union tactics in order to get a no vote last week. The WSJ says this is a classic excuse offered by unions when they lose. The WSJ suggested that union leadership is doing this because they cannot understand that Alabama workers were not interested in the progressive politics they're offering. The editor said that workers not interested in what the UAW is selling has a lot to do with the anti-Israel and left-wing politics coming from Thane himself as the union leader. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
There are 11 students from Wetumpka High School's graduating class who will be denied the usual ceremonies. Those 11 students took part in a senior prank that left the high school in chaos, with overturned desks, ketchup and mustard squirted all over the floors and walls, paper and hay thrown down on top of that, along with spray painting on doors and much more. The Elmore County Superintendent Richard Dennis told Action 8 News that the students have been sent to an alternative school and will not be participating in senior activities, which includes walking on the stage to receive a diploma. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Silly woman.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
I got hairy legs. I got worms.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling the show online, Joey Clark Live. I am Joey Clark. My trusty co-host Eddie Bader is here. How you doing today, Eddie?
Doing wonderful, Joey. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you. And without further ado, folks, we have the one, the only, as is tradition on Tuesdays, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how are you today, sir?
Quite well, thank you, Joey. And you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. My brother came down with the 6-7-month-old niece. And it was great, bonding with a new family member, I'll put it that way.
Oh, great, great. I remember when she was born and how ecstatic you were.
Yeah, and it's only get better, though. I think, with babies, she gave me something here, but I'll survive. I'll survive the sniffles or whatnot. Oh. But there's so much going on in the news. Where I want to begin is, of course, the last time we talked, Michael Cohen had taken the stand, but he had yet to be cross-examined, and a lot has happened in that particular trial in New York City since we last spoke. So what do you make of the cross-examination and different things that have come to light?
Well, I thought the cross-examination was truly first-rate and delivered a body blow to the government's case and allowed the defense to argue that the government has not proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. That's the standard in New York. Some states don't allow the and to a moral certainty language. New York does. So, but the government, on the other hand, will argue even liars tell the truth from time to time. And though we put witnesses on the stand, we don't choose them. They witness these events, and then we discover the events and discover the witnesses. And often the witnesses have more baggage than we say the defendant has. But the real evidence against Donald Trump is his signature on the checks and the documents kept by the Trump organization. That's the argument for the government to make. You have two very skilled courtroom tacticians who each know how to make that argument. And you have a judge who, in my view, will probably give them a little bit of leeway. You usually do give, especially the defense lawyer, a little bit of leeway in making an oral argument. So if I were Todd Blanche, I would make a list on a large full screen of every lie and bad behavior that Michael Cohen has admitted to in the courtroom. I'd go down each one with a moderate explanation to refresh their memory on each one. And then I would say, would you put your freedom in this man's hands? Because those people over there, the government, have asked that the freedom of the former president of the United States be put in his hands. Something dramatic like that. But he doesn't need my advice. He knows how to do it. He did a great job on the cross.
Well, and then on the Eileen Cannon, the documents case with Jack Smith, it seems like Jack Smith and Judge Cannon are going back and forth over the materials that are classified and what should be redacted in public filings. What is the latest? What's going on with this case?
She should be removed from the case. Enough is enough. She's interfered with the prosecution, the likes of which I've never seen in nearly 50 years. As a lawyer, I don't know that they're ready to do that, but that type of an application would be receptive. It must be made to her in the first instance. She'll deny it, but the 11th Circuit might find it very well receptive. This is, after all, the circuit court that reversed her from the bench during oral argument 3 times, something that if it happens once in a lifetime, much less 3 times in a career, it's a lot. But what is she doing? She is an outlier. She's a former prosecutor, and she's assuming the role of prosecutor again and telling them how to prosecute the case. Remember what she did when she was first assigned to the case? She seized the evidence and wouldn't let the prosecutors examine evidence that had been lawfully taken pursuant to a search warrant. She doesn't understand the national security protections that Congress built in to allow the government, defense counsel, the defendant, and the court to see the secrets that the defendant is alleged to have taken or failed to return. She thinks that the Presidential Records Act is a defense to the crime of espionage. It's not. So they have their hands full with her, and I think they should burst the bubble soon.
What's the practical effect of this? Does this trial get off the ground whatsoever before Election Day?
I doubt it. If she's removed from the case, which is probably one of the reasons they're hesitating doing this, if she's removed from the case either voluntarily or by the appellate court, the judge to whom it is assigned has to start from scratch. If she stays on the case, she obviously does not want this tried before Election Day. If Trump loses the election, a big if, then all bets are off. It doesn't matter when they try the case. If Trump wins the election, I'm not so sure that the case still goes away. Some judges would say, I'm an arbiter. If both sides come in the courtroom and they both want the same thing, who am I to disagree? Government says they don't want to try this anymore. The defendant says, get rid of it. I'll go along with it. Other judges say, I'm not a potted plant, and the judiciary does not change what it's doing because of an election. There's more than enough evidence here with which to convict this case is going forward. If you guys don't want to prosecute it, I'll appoint a team of prosecutors and they'll send you a bill. So it could go either way, Joey. If he's elected and the case is still extant on January 20th, 2025.
Well, and it's just like the circus outside the first case we were talking about with the financial crime, so to speak, the election violation. It is. Have you had a chance to get down there? It really, I was trying to put some clips together, folks speaking on Trump's behalf, but they're now counter protesters ringing cowbells and yelling over people giving press conferences. It just seems bonkers down there.
It is wild. You have a regular guest that you can ask because he was there. And apparently, as a result of some nice things I said about him on your show, particularly calling him Coach, He's now coming on Judging Freedom. So, I mean,
that's fantastic.
Ecstatic to be able to spend time with Coach / Senator Tuberville.
Fantastic. Well,
he was there. He was dressed to kill. He looked like Jimmy Stewart and Smith Goes to Washington. He looked right out of Central Casting.
Oh yeah, Coach, you'll enjoy that. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. I love that pairing. That's fantastic. Now I want to shift over to Ukraine. Several things have come out of that, but I know you've been talking to many of your guests on Judging Freedom about how Putin's appointed an economist with no military experience to be the head of the Ukraine war. There's probably a good reason for this, but what is that reason?
Well, Putin has generals. Let me give you a little background.
Okay.
The foreign minister of Russia gets the title of general and gets a uniform. So a general, Foreign Minister Shoigu, who's now in charge of intelligence, was not a real general who worked his way up the ladder. So you will soon see this economist in a general's uniform. But the generals, the real 1, 2, 3, and 4 stars that President Putin has are, according to my people, Colonel McGregor, Larry Johnson, Scott Ritter, are serious generals. They are the ones who will make decisions about the war. The economist will, that's lowercase c. I'm talking about the nominee, the appointee. I'm not talking about the magazine. The economist will be making decisions about what type of assets should be used and where. The Russian military machine, according to McGregor and Ritter, is far better than the United States military machine right now. It's not even a close call. And one of the reasons the professional class in Moscow says, "Thank you, Joe Biden," as sort of a joke, they really mean thank you, Joe Biden, because the Russian economy is self-sufficient, and particularly its version of the military-industrial complex, which goes 24/7, produces more armaments and ammunition than ours does.
And yet, do you still see appearances of somebody, say, like Victoria Nuland, saying, "Hey, fire into Russian territory"? We gave you those fancy missiles.
They just, she must be bored at Columbia. They just dragged her out last weekend, and she was as provocative as ever. She is an inveterate ideologue who doesn't even see the other side. You can see why she's no longer in government. She's just beats that one tune. She is not interested in peace. She's interested in destruction.
And then shifting to, well, I want to hit this real quick. Julian Assange wins an appeal there in Great Britain. Is this a good sign for Assange?
Well, yes and no. The British judiciary, which once was famously independent of the government, no longer is. However, here's what happened. Assange filed about 5 months ago what he thought would be his last appeal. And the appellate court said, "We're ordering you extradited, providing the United States assures us no death penalty, a fair trial, just as if you were an American citizen, pleasant accommodations." I don't know what that means. No jail is pleasant. And you can assert a First Amendment defense. The Obama administration took the position that the First Amendment defense was absolute and decided not to indict him. Mike Pompeo, Trump's head of the CIA, who refuses to deny that he planned and plotted a murder of Julian Assange. While Secretary of State talked Trump into it, Bill Barr went along with it, and they indicted Assange. The United States government, instead of sending the Attorney General of the United States or a high-ranking Justice Department official into a British courtroom, has a political appointee in the embassy in London write a letter to the judges. And they said, "This means nothing to us. So you're going to get the appeal on these 4 issues. The Americans are welcome to comment if they will." That means the court at the outset of the appeal is skeptical as to whether he gets a fair trial, whether he'll be treated like an American citizen, whether there'll be the death penalty, and most importantly, whether there will be a First Amendment defense. In one respect, I don't know how the DOJ could even make these promises because these are decisions by a trial judge. They can promise not to ask for the death penalty, and then another team of prosecutors can come in and ask for it, and there's nothing the Brits can do if Assange has already been extradited here. So they really have put an impossible burden on the United States government. They should just let him go. Why? The government said, well, we probably will ask for, even if he's convicted of everything, 4 to 6 years in jail. He served 5 years in solitary confinement in Great Britain waiting for these extradition hearings.
Now, it really is amazing. I was going to move to Israel real quick, but I got to ask you on more a personal basis where your show has gone, where Judging Freedom has gone. I didn't know you were so fascinated with foreign policy, international relations, everything going on. Maybe I just didn't know that about you. Or why has your show and your interest been drawn to covering most of these wars abroad and a lot of these international issues abroad?
So when Willie Sutton was asked why he robbed banks, he said, because the money is there. So the viewers are there because the viewers do not get this version on any mainstream media. Scott Ritter, I met him at Fox. Fox won't go near him. Doug McGregor, I met him at Fox. Fox won't go near him. Larry Johnson, I met him at Fox. Fox won't go near him. It's not just Fox. It's all the mainstream media. Won't put any of these people on. When I put them on, those who are looking for a version of international events different than what the Biden administration and the CIA and MI6 and the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal want you to hear, they come to Judging Freedom.
Well, and folks, I encourage you to check it out. And, there is so much. We just scratched the surface on a lot of these topics here in our segment. And I love the depth and color you provide. But I would encourage folks to go watch the full-length interviews you do with all the different experts that they want to do a deep dive. And particular with Israel, there's so much going on right now. It seems like there are cracks within the so-called war cabinet with Benny Gantz coming out and essentially calling for Netanyahu to find a peace deal. It seems like Netanyahu's in a pretty between a rock and a hard place at this point. And then you also have the International Criminal Court putting out an arrest warrant for Netanyahu, as well as the leaders of Hamas. And of course, I'm sitting here seeing a bipartisan group of senators now calling out the International Criminal Court for doing so. So it seems like this story is becoming more complex, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Correct. It's very complex. I don't know how the war in Gaza will end. I know how the war in Ukraine will end. It's going to end soon. Ukraine is a shell of its former self, and the Russian military is actually stronger now than it was 2.5 years ago when this started. But I don't know how the war in Gaza will end. Benny Gantz is Washington's guy. His policies wouldn't be very different from Netanyahu. He's just a nicer, softer, easier person to deal with, which means he'll do what Washington tells him to do. I'm not a fan of Netanyahu at all. He is his own man, and doesn't let Washington tell him what to do. $1 billion a year over there.
Okay, well, cut out there for a second, but it makes sense, and we'll see where it goes. I just worry that sometimes in all the talk about the international rules of war and law and all the talk about the different political interests, we forget that we're seeing human beings being incinerated, their homes, their entire towns and way of life being incinerated. And if you believe in, say, liberty and individual rights and dignity, this is probably the most important thing you could ever discuss.
It is. It is. If you believe that there is a moral law that supersedes, called the natural law, that supersedes the laws of countries, then there's obvious violation of moral principles and moral law going on in Gaza, perpetrated by the Israeli government.
Well, I appreciate
in the prosecutions in Nuremberg. The defense lawyers for the German High Command said, what laws did these guys violate? They followed the laws of Germany. And the Russian prosecutor, of all people, said they violated the law of natural human rights. And bingo, that was the laws under which they were prosecuted, many convicted, and some executed.
Well, as always, I appreciate your time. And again, I encourage folks to watch Judging Freedom. And until next week, talk again soon, Judge. Appreciate you.
Oh, all the best, my friend. Thank you.
And tell Coach Tuberville I said hi.
Oh, I'm not sure when he's coming out. He's supposed to be on tomorrow, and he just moved it. But I think I'll see him before the week is out.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that trick you taught me about calling him Coach, man, it worked. It worked.
Well,
love you, Joey. Thank you.
Well, right back at you. Thank you, Judge. Folks, Judge Andrew Napolitano, always enjoy having him on. And yes, he provides a different perspective than what you're probably going to get when it comes to, a lot of your corporate press, your standard media. It really is a complex time to try to understand where the world is going. Because I just do not buy the easy answers that Washington, D.C. and corporate media continue to give. And complexity ain't a bad thing, and we should admit that the world is that way. And yet, we're in election season, right, Eddie? So nuance has to go right out the window.
But of course, Joey.
Right out the window. But how about this? Let's hit a break. But
all right.
Before we hit the break, have you been by the Facebook page of Dylan Rings?
I saw a little something a little while ago, Joey.
Yeah, of course at Dylan Rings, they are a full-service jewelry shop. That means they can do it all. They have an incredible selection from high-end pieces to everyday jewelry items. They can do repairs, including watch repairs, but maybe you need to reset stones or resize a ring, or maybe you want to get a spa treatment done. So you clean up that piece of jewelry, get it polished, essentially to have it shine and shimmer the way it once did when you first bought it. And I'm looking at their Facebook page right now, Eddie. It says, looking for the perfect diamond, whether it's new or old, natural or lab-grown, round or square, big or small, Dylan Rings says they've got it and can get exactly what you want. And we're seeing many different examples of, man, what is that on that? It almost looks like it's on a can of caviar. Mm-hmm. That is
does look
huge,
like it's on a can of caviar. Yeah.
Huge diamond.
That would be the diamond I would expect that you would present to your bride-to-be, Joey.
Oh, stop
If you can't do that, then just stay home, Joey.
Yeah. 272-9228 if you want to get on the program. But, man, Dylan Rings is the place to go, folks. Like, I'm a little taken aback, all out of sorts, just looking at these diamonds. Like, I'm seeing my reflection in the photo right there. Dadgum. That's bright and shiny for you. So you'll go to their Facebook page. Again, you can always go to Dylan Rings on Facebook or Instagram, or go to DylanRings.com. But I really encourage you to stop by, whatever your jewelry needs might be. 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie, those fools on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Do you or a loved one have leg pain? Are your legs feeling tired? Do you have heavy skin discoloration? Do you have leg wounds or varicose veins? Are your legs swelling or do they have spider veins? If you're experiencing any vein issues, contact the professional caring staff at Ivy Creek Vein Clinic. They can help. Call 334-514-3851. Ivy Creek Vein Clinic, located at 525 Hospital Drive, Suite B in Wetumpka.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 158636A, Equal Housing Lender.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you'd just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. You want to be a songwriter?
Not Willie. You are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring T.J. Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who will show up.
In a new scripted Audible original.
Any advice?
Yeah, to steal something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to Do Some Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey. This fella in the white is Eddie.
How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right. 272-9228 if
some
you want
color
to go.
after Randall's suggestion of wearing color, so I picked white.
Oh, see, I'm still going to wear black because I like it. It's slimming.
Yeah?
Man, I need that.
You're not wearing black today?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little chubby. Feeling a little chubby. So there's plenty we could go to.
So much.
For instance, Klaus Schwab
Aye.
of the World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm.
I am retiring.
Really?
I am stepping down as chairman of the World Economic Forum.
I always thought of him as the guy that led chaos. Probably before your time, but...
Yeah, this is from Semaphore. And it says, World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab will be stepping back from his role running the global gathering since he founded it in 1971. Schwab announced his intentions in an email to staff on Tuesday, today. He will be stepping down as executive chairman and transitioning to a role as non-executive chairman. Okay. Adding the change in his role is pending approval by the Swiss government. Huh. I didn't know this was like literally sponsored by the Swiss government.
I didn't know that either.
But Schwab, guess how old he is?
I'm going to guess 83.
Close. He's older than that.
Really?
86.
I was going to say 84, but I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah, so he's stepping down. Who knows who's going to replace him?
It's going to say, you know the devil you got, Joey. You never know the devil that's coming.
Now, here's another just random headline from The Guardian. Across the pond. Microplastics found in every human testicle in study.
Yeah. Microplastics in everything, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's just part of life that we started doing back in the 60s.
Yeah, microplastics have been found in human testicles, with researchers saying the discovery might be linked to the declining sperm counts in men. The scientists tested 23 human testes.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's an uneven number.
Joey, some people only have one.
Some have 3.
I don't know about the 3 part, but I know of several with the 1. Accents.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, we got 5 guys who are normal, and we got a tripod over here as the special test subject. But they also tested 47 testes from pet dogs. They found microplastic pollution in every sample. Now, that's not a lot, but when you get 100% return, even on a small sample, the human testicles had been preserved. And so, okay, so they're not still like, this is like after the fact. I was wondering how they tested this.
I just assumed it was some type of surgery.
The human testicles had been preserved, and so their sperm count could not be measured. However, the sperm count in the dog's testes, oh, those poor guys, poor doggy guys, could be assessed and was lower in samples with higher contamination with PVC.
That makes sense. They drink a lot less filtered water than we do.
Everybody spent all these decades worrying about VD when they should have been worried about PVC.
Yeah, it's in your water. It's in everything, dude.
The study demonstrates a correlation, but further research is needed to prove microplastics can cause sperm counts to fall. But sperm counts in men have been falling for decades, with chemical pollution such as pesticides implicated by many studies. Microplastics have also recently been discovered in human blood, placentas, and breast milk, indicating widespread contamination of people's bodies. The impact on health is as yet unknown, but microplastics have been shown to cause damage to human cells in the lab.
Yeah. All this is a no-brainer. You consume water. Most of that, people don't like to realize this, but once your sewer is treated, goes to the river, goes to the ocean, goes back to the freshwater supply. So things like plastic don't get caught up. They just stay in there. And so they're in you, they're in everything you.
See, but we're back to hating on plastic. And I get this could be but this could be a problem, but remember how they were doing like the paper straws and those sorts of things?
In Jamaica, they had the paper straws. We bring our own plastic straws now. It's ridiculous.
But do you remember where all that just went out the window?
In some European countries, they still.
Well, COVID. Everybody went back to plastic. Why? Because plastic is quick and easy and keeps things clean and these sorts of things. But yeah, the particles could lodge, these plastic particles could lodge in tissue and cause inflammation, as air pollution particles do, or chemicals in the plastics could cause harm. In March, doctors warned of potentially life-threatening effects after finding a substantial raised risk of stroke, heart attack, and earlier death in people whose blood vessels were contaminated with microplastics.
We need a filter.
Yeah, or a cleanse. Maybe those...
Filter's a lot easier than a cleanse.
Yeah, you ever done a cleanse? Like a juice cleanse? Yeah. When your sisters rope you into that?
No, it's one of the things I saw. You know, you work a night shift and you see some things like 2 a.m. of, hey, cleanse your body by this. Very messy.
You ever bought something on infomercial while drunk?
Oh, yeah.
So like scented candles or...
Usually, I think the one thing I remember was like those big sunglasses, blue blockers. I remember me and my buddy David bought a pair of them drunk one time. And we looked like...
music TV show, not Soul Train, but like Midnight Special, something like that. Yeah,
Friday Night Videos, Soul Train. Yeah, Midnight Special. I think thought it was a movie.
Probably a lot of things.
Both, yeah.
But I remember buying one. I was pretty drunk in college, and I bought a DVD of like several people performing. I don't know where it is.
Freedom. What about Freedom Rock?
Freedom Rock.
You never heard the info commercial for, hey man, what's that? It's Freedom Rock. Turn it up, and it'd be all just 70s or 80s music. You'd buy the 3-4 disc selection. Freedom Rock.
Anyway,
baby.
we're getting off the beaten path here. The testes analyzed were obtained from post-mortems in 2016, with the men ranging in ages from 16 to 88 when they died. The impact on the younger generation might be more concerning now that there is more plastic than ever in the environment, said Dr. Yu.
Must be
Why?
French.
No, why you?
He must be French.
Yeah. Do you think it's French? Goodness gracious. So that's a great sign. And that
a
we're all
no-brainer,
contaminated
dude.
by microplastics.
Where does it go? Where does plastic go? You think once you chop it up, it magically disappears? No. It's microplastic. It stays at a micro level, and you're going to consume it, whether it's food, drink, air, water, whatever. And your body's going to capture it. You are
Well,
the
and
filter.
maybe RFK Jr.'s onto something with all these different things we've been up to. That it is the environmental factors that are
Look, I think that's
leading to Americans' awful health outcomes.
not just America, but I think that's a huge thing. But, dude, as long as it's making money, we're told not to care.
Now, did you see that Peter Navarro, who's in prison? Now, he worked for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like one of the top advisors. And he's in prison, but he's going to get out before too long.
Before
I think
Trump
he's going
gets
to
in office?
speak at, no, I think he's going to speak at the convention.
Really?
Yeah. And so Navarro sat down. Again, this is Semaphore. I don't know why I keep going to them today, but thanks, guys, for the scoop.
Okay.
Imprisoned ex-Trump aide Peter Navarro predicts Fed chair's ouster and mass deportations in a second presidential term. You want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell would be gone in the first 100 days of a second Trump term.
Hopefully in the first 10. But
That would also include mass deportations of undocumented immigrants and more tariffs on China. This is all according to Peter Navarro, who spoke to Semaphore from federal prison. Navarro, who directed Trump's Office of Trade and Manufacturing Policy until 2021, has remained loyal to Trump. Donald Trump Jr. and other members of the candidate's inner circle have visited Navarro at the minimum security facility in Miami, where he is being held, a signal that he could have a prominent role in another Trump administration. Well, you literally went to jail on behalf of the man, because this was
hope he
over
got you
refusing.
back.
He's in jail, federal prison, for refusing a congressional subpoena.
Hope we got you back after all that.
Yeah, Navarro said he hopes to speak at the Republican National Convention if he can make it out in time, with his scheduled release date of around July 17th falling in the middle of the gathering.
Interesting.
He wants to tout Trump's economic agenda laid out in a book he has been wrapping up in prison, The New MAGA Deal, which will be released the week of the convention.
That would be the one positive thing about going to a federal prison, Joey. You could write your book you've always wanted to write. You got all the library accessories you need there and all the time to do it with.
So that he was asked straight up, what are Trump's economic priorities if he wins? Navarro, I'm quoting him, the new MAGA deal documents 100 actions in 100 days. At the top of the trade list is Trump's Reciprocal Trade Act, originally introduced by Congressman Sean Duffy in 2019. If countries refuse to lower their tariffs to our levels, the president would have the authority to raise our tariffs to theirs. It is the most common sense route to balancing our trade deficit and thereby stimulating economic growth and strengthening the U.S. dollar. It should appeal to protectionists and free traders alike. What didn't get done in the last term that would be back on the table? Navarro. One of the biggest pieces of unfinished Trump business is to solidify Buy American, Hire American government procurement, and reshore our private sector supply chains and manufacturing back to U.S. soil. We are dangerously vulnerable to foreign coercion and everything from defense applications and tech to pharmaceuticals. Trump will also quickly seal the border and begin mass deportations. Biden has imported a wave of crime and terrorism, along with an uneducated mass that drives down wages of black, brown, and blue-collar Americans. Blacks and Hispanics, particularly males in the workforce, are flocking to Trump in droves. So this is just a little flavor of what's coming up. And Navarro was very close to Trump. He remains close to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is telling the truth about where things are going if Trump gets back in there. And of course, Trump said that, like, the defense rest, but I'm not resting. Sometimes I want to rest, but I don't. I've got a country to save. So, I mean, are we worried about these court trials anymore?
Not really.
No.
Not at this point.
Are you worried about Trump in the debates?
No, not really.
Or are you just ready to kind of get in there and vote?
Yeah, ready for that.
You sound so excited.
Well, it's just all the, it's all the crap you got to go through beforehand and all the silliness that we're going to see. But the debate, speaking of the debate, I think I read somewhere last night that Trump demands a drug test of Biden.
Oh, yeah, and they're still demanding it.
Good. I'll do your CNN crap, but I want a drug test from you. I love that. Do you think he'll get it, though, Joey?
Probably not.
I think he'll take it, but then they'll...
Whose cocaine
right.
was in the White House, Joe?
I think they'll take the drug test, but then the results come out. They'll be like, we're going to keep that confidential.
It's just... I think I'm feeling Biden's done.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura Ingraham.
To the point, I think I read something where they're even thinking about pulling the fast one with the old vice president, swapping her in there real quick. I just don't think they're that desperate yet.
Right.
I think they've got better options, but...
well, but they're starting to realize they're losing.
Finally.
Big time.
In fact, I read just a few minutes ago something about Biden going to release some barrels of oil so he can, lower gas prices, which is great. I'll be the first one to appreciate that because energy takes a good chunk of my paycheck. However, I know it's very temporary. And then on the other side of that, they're going to be higher than they ever were.
Yep. But here, this was with Laura Ingraham last night. I've skipped past her question. But it was Victor Davis Hanson getting to this, appeal Trump is making to everyone across racial lines based on middle-class values. This has not really happened in modern American politics. Let's listen in together.
You should say, unlike the Democrats, I will accept the verdict if I find it's fair. But the Democrats objected in 2007. They said for a year that George Bush was elected and not elected, even though the New York Times had run an investigation showing that Bush did win Florida. 2004, Benny Thompson, remember, Laura, he was head of the January 6th Commission and lectured us about integrity and balloting, and he voted to decertify the Ohio electors. John Kerry lost Ohio by 116,000 votes, and they still challenge it. 31 House members and Barbara Boxer. Then we go on to 2016. You remember those grade C celebrities every night in mid-December begging 31 electors to flip over and renounce their constitutional duty to reflect the popular vote in their state and give it to Hillary? And then we had Hillary, Jimmy Carter, and Hakeem Jeffries. They all said the same thing, that Donald Trump was elected by the Russians. He was illegitimate. So that's what, and Stacey Abrams she became a celebrity by suing Georgia, even though she lost by 50,000 votes. It was introduced at every one of these leftist conventions as a real governor.
I remember that.
And even though Brian Kemp just wiped her out in the 2018. That's what they do. Marco Rubio was absolutely right.
He hit the nail on the head. And I know he's one of the people that Trump is supposedly looking at for vice president.
Yeah, Rubio was impressive yesterday or over the weekend.
Yeah.
We covered it yesterday. And I'm not a big fan of Rubio.
But I saw Tim Pool's podcast or a clip of it, and he put out the rumor of Rubio being his VP pick.
Yeah, I think Rubio's up there high on the list. Byron Donald as well, a few others.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be lapdogs. I hope they know what they're in for.
But let's keep going here with Victor Davis Hanson on Laura Ingram's program.
Even with the constitutional issue there. But Victor, I want to circle back to what we were talking about earlier in the show, which is this bold Trump move into liberal territory, which I have been begging Republicans to do for years. But finally, with Trump, we have a working class message that connects with ethnic minorities and other working class Americans who've gotten a raw deal from the globalists. He's going right into the heart of their territory and saying, I'll be for you. And I love that. It's brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, I think we've never seen a Republican candidate that's appealed across racial and ethnic lines on the basis of middle-class values and solidarity. That's what he's doing. And almost every Hispanic male that I know in this area, and I'm living in a community of 85% Mexican Americans, is going to vote for Donald Trump.
That's awesome.
It's not necessarily women or young people, but Hispanic males have had it with the border and inflation and all of these cultural issues that people talk down to them about transgenderism and late-term abortion and green power, et cetera. So we're in a really revolutionary time.
Yeah, we are. And this is why you get these sort of ridiculous, like light and darkness speeches from Joe Biden. Well, like that one at Morehouse. Essentially, without me, if you don't vote for me, you're hopeless.
Yeah, I've seen that even in the African-American community, he's got a ton of pushback, which I'm glad he did.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they do. They say, if I don't win, then I'm going to warn you, it's all in vain.
How can you ever,
Hopelessness is my
how
message.
can you ever get behind a leader that just basically tries to control you with fear?
No, that's a lot of them.
None that
But
I
it's
ever
not
get
working
behind.
because, again, more and more people across all sorts of demographic tabs, if you will, they're not buying this squat anymore. Almost said something else.
That's the truth.
This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. Bo has been working in the River Region real estate market for over 40 years, 4+ decades. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling your property, but have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And then the Goodson Group is also the home of the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate school programs here in the great state of Alabama, mostly because of Bo's experience. So check out the Goodson Group today. They're at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. The calendar says May, but we are easing into some summertime heat. Still not too humid, though. Lots of sunshine. High temperature 88 to 90 today. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low in the mid-60s. I think we'll be near 90 tomorrow and Thursday with more sun. Then risk of some widely scattered pop-up random storms here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty typical Memorial Day weekend weather with high temperatures in the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply for your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the River region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 P's. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Back in the day, cars didn't even have safety belts. Everything was fine. Why do I need them now?
This suit was expensive. I don't want to wrinkle it with the seatbelt, and it's just not comfortable.
I've been driving for years, and I've never been in a wreck. I know what I'm doing. I don't need seatbelts.
Why would I wear my seatbelt? It's just a quick trip to the store.
There's no good excuse, and that goes for your kids too. Click it or ticket.
Brought to you by Adicolettes.
Only one event in Montgomery saves and pays. It's the Memorial Day event at Lexus of Montgomery. This Friday through Memorial Day Monday, receive a $500 Amazon gift card with any new Lexus purchase. Drive the new Lexus IS 300, only $463 a month. Plus up to $5,000 over book value for your trade-in. Memorial Day savings end soon, so rush to Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. R5130706, 10,000 miles per year, 36 months with 4527 to 90 with approved credit. See dealer for full offer details. Offers expire 6/4/24.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I have to admit, folks, I definitely caught something. So I'm feeling pretty under the weather.
Have you caught the fever? Baby fever?
No, not
you
the
haven't caught
baby
that?
fever.
No.
I think it's just some little cold. Like, I don't feel that bad. I just don't feel myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the mind is slow today.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll survive. I think.
Go home, do 2 shots of liquor, you'll be just fine.
So, there's been this big media tour going on with this new dynamic duo.
Dynamic duo?
Yeah. Like 2 people who work together in a dynamic way.
I understand the dynamic duo. Who is the ones you're referring to? I haven't seen a good dynamic duo in quite a while.
I was thinking of Britt and Cruz. Would you not describe them as a dynamic duo?
They're a duo. I'll give them that. I don't know how dynamic they are, but maybe you'll educate me on that.
Well, because they've been all over the news. So, here is Megyn Kelly talking to them about their brand new bill they have co-sponsored together. And again, because I'm under the weather, I'm going to somebody else's show. Sorry. But that's where I'm at today, right now. Really? Their ads? Can we?
So it is a very
Thank
simple
you.
bill. It protects IVF. It prohibits any state from banning IVF. And the reason we did it is, as you remember, the Alabama Supreme Court several months ago had a decision that was widely covered nationally as threatening IVF. What actually happened there was a couple who wanted to have kids and had embryos frozen in a clinic. That clinic was negligent in protecting them, and someone ended up destroying the embryos against the couple's wishes.
Correct.
And so they brought a lawsuit because they were mad at the clinic for destroying their embryos, didn't want them destroyed.
Right.
And the Alabama Supreme Court ruled in favor of the couple. The media was interpreted by a lot of people who frankly have political agendas, a lot of Democrats with an agenda, a lot of people in the media, as saying the right Republicans that are rid of IVF. Now, the Alabama legislature at least legal in the state of Alabama, but that has not stopped Democrats across the country from wrongly claiming that there are Republicans who want to take away IVF.
I still can't believe this beautiful girl is ours.
All right, never mind. I'm not even gonna play Megyn Kelly stuff. I was trying to get a good point of view from Cruz and Britt, but there's ads all over this damn thing.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and have you noticed that with the internet?
Yep.
It's worse than TV now.
A lot worse than TV. YouTube used to be my favorite.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
So many sites are unbearable.
Yep. Well, like what you just did. You'll be in the middle of a story and, hey, here's an ad.
Like he's literally in the middle of a sentence.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
But do we agree with this IVF bill? Like protecting it nationwide to try to shut up the hysterical left that won't shut them up?
I've got to be completely honest. I'll plead ignorant to it because I don't know that much about it. I'm glad the fact that they want to protect it. I think a lot of people got worried when this bill came out, the first one. I think a lot of people have a lot of time, money, and tears invested in that.
Right. Oh, this first court ruling when it came out. Yeah.
And so, I just feel for anybody in that world, but I don't know the ins and outs of the bill, and I'll be very honest, I don't trust politicians.
Right.
I can't see a time where those two came together over drinks and said, you know what, I got a great idea for a bill. I can see lobbyists going to them going, hey, I got a great idea for a bill for you guys. And I have problems with that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But it's Cruz and Brett teaming up together.
And again, I don't have anything against either one of them. I mean, we all know Katie is very captivating. But
as you've said it in the past.
Right. But at the end of the day, she is a politician. And, I don't agree with everything they do.
Well, we'll see. But it's one of those issues where it's a perfect example of how people don't actually talk about the issue.
Yes.
Don't actually lay out the facts of the case. They just run with it in whatever the way they want, and most people aren't hip to the actual facts of the case.
And that's the thing, just like that commercial we saw with the state troopers pulling someone over. Where did that come from? How did they even, I don't understand where that developed from any kind of idea.
Well, that's why I asked Steve Marshall about it yesterday. He said he was looking into folks that were coming into the state to get people to go out of state, and there are provisions of Alabama law that if you're trying to get somebody out of the state to go do something illegal in the state, you're doing something illegal.
Lottery?
Man, we need to change that law.
Just saying. If it affects one, it affects across the
No,
board.
I think if you yourself go, that's not the issue. It has much more to do with like people are soliciting.
I got you.
Come out here. We're going to solicit into Alabama to get people to leave Alabama. That's where it came from.
That's a huge issue. Yeah.
So, how about this? Let's hit our top of the hour break.
All right, I'm going to buy some lotto tickets.
But first, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. Well, James and his team are ready to help you with all those plumbing issues you might have. Could be a real bad leak.
Oh, it could be, man.
Inside or outside the home?
Honestly, this time of year, trees are starting to grow a little bit more, a little bit faster. All of a sudden, you might realize that your drain's not draining like it should. Nobody wants tree root invasions, Joey.
No,
it
that'd
happens.
be awful.
It is.
Like,
it happens.
Or it could be you don't really have a huge problem. It might be a clogged drain, low water pressure. But what if you just want to upgrade?
That's a great idea.
To like a tankless water heater system. You don't even have to deal with the tank at all anymore.
Right. A lot more room.
Maybe you're getting a little old, like your knees, your hips aren't working as well. You could get a taller toilet installed.
Really good idea. Or you get that fancy toilet, that Toto toilet.
Or a bidet.
Ooh, Joey.
It can do it all there at Cole Plumbing. So check them out today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. In New York, the defense resting its case in Donald Trump's criminal trial. The conclusion of witness testimony brings the trial one step closer to closing arguments, which will take place next week. Jurors have been sent home and will not return until next Tuesday. The Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen claim they've shot down an American drone over the country on the Arabian Peninsula. The U.S. military acknowledges the reports but does not comment. If confirmed, it would be the second MQ-9 Reaper drone that has been downed by the Houthis just over the past week. On Wall Street, stocks have been drifting around their record levels. The Dow is ahead 5 points. The NASDAQ is up 1 point. This is SRN News.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. It's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnau, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text faith to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text faith to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. The calendar says May, but we are easing into some summertime heat. Still not too humid, though. Lots of sunshine. High temperature 88 to 90 today. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low in the mid-60s. I think we'll be near 90 tomorrow and Thursday with more sun. Then risk of some widely scattered pop-up random storms here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty typical Memorial Day weekend weather with high temperatures in the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Check out our special spring savings on Kubota zero-turn mowers, like the Kubota Z411. At 10 miles an hour, it makes cutting around bushes, beds, and trees a breeze. Powering Alabama. Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. 20-year-old Michael Lamar Johnson was arrested over the weekend in connection to the shooting that left Montgomery woman Amy Dix paralyzed. Central Alabama Crime Stoppers credited an anonymous tip with helping law enforcement find Johnson. The person responsible for the tip will earn a $15,000 reward. Elmore County Public Schools officials are releasing photos of damage at Wetumpka High School to show that the incident was more than just a senior prank. The school system says the vandalism caused more than $10,000 in damages. The students involved are not being allowed to participate in senior activities. One person was injured in a Monday afternoon house fire in Montgomery. Fire rescue units responded to the fire around 2 p.m. in the 600 block of Cleveland Court. An 82-year-old woman was treated for smoke inhalation at the scene and taken to the emergency room. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I know so many of y'all out there listening were disappointed when the interview with Katie Britt and Ted Cruz wouldn't play, but I found like 5 or 6 more of them on Twitter, so we might have to...
Lucky day.
Wait, no, you're not excited to see the media tour? Now, do you want to see them on Fox News or Bloomberg or...
Take your pick.
Oh, wait!
I would rather see him in the studio. That's where I'd rather see him.
Let's, instead of talking about all that stupid political crap, talk to, that voice you just heard here in the studio, Madeline Cannon from Alabama Home Mortgage. How you doing, Madeline?
Doing good. Hey, guys.
Good to see you, Madeline.
I'm no Katie Britt, but...
You're much better.
Oh, my.
For so many reasons.
moving right along.
So I was just asking you off air that, I use these free, like NerdWallet, and some of the credit cards I have, their apps, I have these free credit tracking reports.
Sure.
And I've always thought, it's kind of a good benchmark to know what direction I'm going in, but I never really trusted the score, but I didn't know. So what is the deal? How do I, with these free credit reports and people pull up, how accurate are these things?
Yeah, that's something we talk to a lot of people about because part of the pre-approval process is your credit score. And we have to pull a tri-merge credit report. So that means we see all three scores with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Okay. Then we're required to take the numerical middle score. So we don't favor one bureau over the other. So to put some numbers to it, let's say you've got a 640, a 650, a 660. We use that 650 score to get you qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, back to your question about credit monitoring services. Most of them are free. So you've got Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. What was the one you mentioned? NerdWallet. You get what you pay for. I tell people to hang out on the trajectory. I use Credit Karma. I think it's a great thing to use because you can keep up with the balances that are reporting, make sure that there's nothing inaccurate reporting in your name, make sure that people aren't fraudulently opening accounts in your name. So I think it's a great monitoring tool, but the score itself, it's just all over the board.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm looking at my NerdWallet one now. I think it's powered by TransUnion. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, so TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, 3 different credit bureaus. They're actually regional. Okay. Not to get too much in the weeds here, but financial institutions are actually not required to report to the credit bureau. Now, the major ones do, and there's a cost associated with doing it. So a lot of like the smaller local credit unions, for example, will only report to 1 or 2 of the 3.
Okay.
All right. So that's why you'll see some variance in score because you may have a lot of trade lines that report to Equifax and Experian and nothing to TransUnion or very little to TransUnion.
So if TransUnion's saying I'm at 750 something, it could be higher, could be lower based on what y'all could actually pull up if I was, say, looking into buying a home.
That's right. It's a forecasted score. So the only way to truly know what your credit score is to have a financial institution like Alabama Home Mortgage pull a credit report.
Okay.
Now, Equifax is headquartered in Atlanta. So most financial institutions, if they're going to report in the Southeast, they're going to report to Equifax. So we have found through our experience that most people's numerical middle scores for qualifying for a mortgage is typically Equifax because it has the most data.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, what sort of score should somebody be prepared to have if they are looking to buy in this market?
I got a 475, and I'm looking to buy about a $3.2 million.
Not much.
Are you the U.S. government?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. The government's the only one that can get away with not paying their obligations and still borrow money, right?
Exactly.
Well, for us at Alabama Home Mortgage, and this is not going to be the same across the board. Every institution is going to have their own credit guidelines, but our minimum credit score requirement is a 620.
620.
Okay.
Now, obviously, the higher the score, the better the terms.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, are there certain benchmarks built in? Like if I'm coming in at 700, do I automatically get a better rate than I would if I was at 620?
Yes.
So it steadily goes up that way.
Yes. So credit scores are banded. So you go from 620 to 639 is one band, 640 to 669. 670. So it's banded that way. The higher your score, the better the terms of your rate. Now, obviously, there's some other things that can help with rate as far as your loan to value. If you're putting more money down, that can help too. But it doesn't offset the credit score requirement. Have to have a 620 regardless of whether or not you're putting the minimum down or 20% down.
Well, and I'm already seeing, like, I'm jumping to different, say, credit card apps I have, and one's Experian. Yeah, they're all different scores.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you actually have to sit down and be serious about this. Say somebody's score does come back and it's not so great. Can y'all give them tips on how to get in the right territory?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fairly common, right? And a lot of first-time home buyers, they may have very little credit established or no credit at all. And so we're happy to walk you through that. Or maybe somebody that's come off of a bankruptcy or had a foreclosure in the past and they're not quite sure what they need to do to get themselves reestablished. If you're not at 620, we don't want you to be discouraged. Call us. It's never too soon to get started. If you think you want to buy something here in the next year, let's go ahead and pull credit, get a baseline, and come up with a game plan to get you there.
Let's add another factor that might add a little complexity. How does this affect veterans? How does it affect VA loans?
Yeah, so that's still going to be a 620 requirement.
Okay.
Now, I know for big purchases like an auto loan, sometimes if you don't quite meet the credit requirement, you can have a cosigner, right? That's real common. Now, on mortgages, that's not the case. You both independently have to qualify. The only reason you would have a co-borrower would be to add income to the application, not to offset credit.
Not credit, just income.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Yeah, and this is a lot of the stuff I think people don't know unless they've actually gone through the
of course not.
process.
Sure.
And there might even be people who went through the process and they still don't really know what happened.
That's right. And I tell people sometimes you may qualify with a 620, but it could be some small little thing on that credit report. Like I could tell you to pay down that credit card a couple $100,
Right.
and now our score goes from 620 to 680, and now we're talking about half a percentage point
Yeah,
savings in
because
rate.
Utilization is a huge part of your score.
Yeah, so we can talk about what goes into credit score. So payment history. So have we made timely payments? Depth of credit. How long have we had credit open?
Sure.
Types of credit accounts. So do we have a history of installment loans like auto, student loans, mortgages? But do we also have revolving, which is a credit card where we pay off and charge, month over month? What am I missing? Oh, utilization. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
How much do we owe versus the credit that's extended to us? And a lot of people are real quick to pay off a credit card and close it.
Right.
And that's wrong.
Oh, tell me why.
Okay. Pay it off, great, but
Okay.
do not close that account. If you can't help yourself, file that credit card away, put it in the safe, shred it, whatever you need to do, but keep that account open. Because let's put an example to it. Let's say you've got 2 credit cards
Okay.
with limits of $1,000 a piece. So you've got $2,000 of credit available to you. Okay. And we owe, for easy math, let's say we owe $500 on each of them. Okay. So now we're at what? I said 2,000 was our limit. Is that right? And so we owe 1,000. So we're at 50% utilization.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And we pay one of them off and we close it. Okay. So now we still just owe $500 and we have a $1,000 limit. Now we're at 50% utilization. Right. So I think I already said 50%. Anyway,
so
you get the point.
don't get the
Yeah.
duration, number one, because you just closed one. And so the number of accounts and how long they've been open. And you didn't affect your utilization at all, even though you just paid
Made it
one
worse.
off.
Actually, you went to 50%
Right.
utilization, and you only have one.
Yeah,
arm
you
of
didn't
credit.
charge. You didn't charge anything else. You actually paid down an account, but because you closed it, you have less credit available to you. Therefore, your utilization went up.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of folks who go through grade school, high school, even college, and they don't learn this game.
You know why? They don't teach it in school.
It
Joey.
definitely. They should have some kind of
No
financial
doubt.
literacy.
No doubt.
I mean,
Several
I've
times
never
throughout
used
our
the
school.
Pythagorean theorem, the quadratic formula. I mean, but I think learning how to budget.
Yep.
The
importance
attain a
of
credit
credit.
score. Yeah.
Oh, and I'll admit, I was late to the game. I was very late. In fact, I called Alabama Home Mortgage. I talked to Kim because she kept saying, "Joey, come, let's see, get you in a home." And she goes, "Oh, you have no credit." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Like I pay for cash and everything." And I
Silly man.
And so it's been a several year process where now I'm pretty certain mine's in good to excellent range and I'm
Great.
doing all right. And so that made me curious about what, when you're looking to actually get a mortgage, what sort of score they're looking for. So I think I'm in the right range now.
That's awesome. And there are a lot of financial gurus that encourage people not to have credit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stand them.
Dave Ramsey is one
Yeah.
of them that is very much a proponent of having no credit score, even encourages people to close everything, leave it closed so that they don't have a credit score when they go to apply for a mortgage.
How's that work for you?
Well, you can qualify for what's called a manual underwrite,
Okay.
which means that it's not traditional financing because they don't have anything to look at from a credit history perspective, and you're paying a much higher interest rate.
But I've got all this income, so I could still qualify for
You
that.
can qualify for it, but
But-
you're getting a different type of rate market because it's a non-qualified.
Non-traditional?
Yeah, that's right. So I would encourage you, instead of paying everything off and eliminating any kind of credit history, use credit to your benefit. You can have credit without being in debt.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where things get, sideways, is people think that, oh, if I have credit, that means I have debt.
I'm in
No,
debt.
I'm not encouraging you to open a credit card, run it up more than you can pay off every month, right? I tell people, let's open a credit card, charge gas, grocery, whatever, things that you're going to swipe a debit card for anyway. Don't charge any more than you can pay off at the end of the month, and make your money work for you, because you're going to get to a point at some point, whether it's a house or something else, that it's going to cost more than you've got cash on hand. And then what do you do?
Right. Well, and that's exactly what I've done. I do most of my everyday spending on a credit card that I don't even wait till the next month. I pay it off every time I get paid for the most part. And the beautiful thing is you do that long enough, they'll give you a higher credit limit. So it's easier to have a lower utilization.
That's right. It all goes hand in hand.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's, and it's also, I think, good way to protect yourself because you can deal with a credit card company, be like, hey, this is a fraudulent charge. Somebody got this,
Right.
as opposed to somebody gets your debit card.
That's right.
That's a
You use
big
that
problem.
debit card at the local gas pump and it's got a skimmer on it.
Right.
And all of a sudden your, $50 gas bill becomes $5,000. You're going to get that money back, right? But it's going to take a lot more time to make you whole
And
going
effort.
through the bank,
Yeah.
right? And in the meantime, what do we do? Right.
Oh, yeah.
Versus a credit card, you don't have to worry about them wiping out your account.
Right.
Well, and this is crucial in this market, folks. And, take this conversation as just a great example of how easy it is to work with Alabama Home Mortgage is what I would say. That Kim and Madeline here will sit down, get to know you, understand your goals, and then be like, okay, here's the steps we need to take. Here's the best possible deal we can get you. So y'all's number is still 567-4223?
We're still there, 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
There is a difference in mortgage companies, like Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, equal housing lender. Do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
Cool.
Y'all want me to hang out?
So you excited about this Katie Britt Ted Cruz clip I finally found? Do we want to go with Fox News or Bloomberg?
Fox.
Or maybe Newsmax?
Yeah, go with Fox.
Fox?
Yeah.
But I don't want to listen to Brian kill me.
That's the whole reason I want to go with Fox. Got your brother on there, man.
Well, let's hit this break. We'll come back with that.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
You know how they say don't read the comments section?
I learned that the hard way, Joey.
What's going on?
And well, our comment section is usually fun. It's like some, comment about fat we are or something.
Yes,
like,
Joey, it
or
hurts my
like our
feelings every
fashion
day.
choices or whatever it is.
Yeah, it hurts my feelings every day.
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about our own comments. That is a good rule of thumb. Don't read your own comments. But can you imagine being like, you just hit the national stage? Like you did a big, especially if you're like cannonball and you end up doing a belly flop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then people are like, that was a pretty impressive belly flop, though. So the other side, who doesn't want you to do well, is like, ooh. Anyway, I was looking up Senator Britt and Senator Cruz, this interview with Brian, kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the comments about, especially Senator Britt, I'm like, oh my goodness.
The comments on ours, well, we had Senator Britt on the show. There are some very
And
nice
it's,
people
and it's
out
mostly
there.
from women.
You noticed?
I don't know what the deal is there.
Yeah.
I'm like, my goodness, talk about it. We had that cat fight in Congress. Anyway, here
That was
is-
embarrassing.
what did you think of that?
That was awful. I'm like, what am I watching? This cannot be the U.S. Congress.
Oh, girl, baby girl. I'm not.
Your eyelashes are too long with your butch body.
Bad built butch body.
Yeah. It was like we were on the playground or something.
By the way, butch
Very
was
much
one
so.
of Jack Campbell's favorite words.
Oh, no doubt.
Look at that butch woman over there. And then the woman would walk over and he'd be like, "How you doing?
How you
Hey,
doing?
hey, I'm Jack." But here is Kilmeade talking to both Cruz and Britt. This is about this IVF bill. And seriously, Media Tour, we could have taken our pick.
Yeah.
Newsmax, Bloomberg, they were all over. Megyn Kelly, they were all over the place. But here's Kilmeade.
IVF procedures at the federal level. Let's welcome GOP Senators Ted Cruz and Senator Katie Britt. Welcome to both of you. Senator Britt, first off to you. Why is IVF front and center? It's because of Alabama, correct?
Absolutely. And listen, what we want to do is the left is fear-mongering, saying that we are not going to protect IVF. IVF is protected, and Senator Cruz and I are going to make sure it continues to be protective. It is pro-life, it's pro-family, it's pro-woman, and I believe that we're the party of families, and we want to help people who are struggling with infertility, who want to see the miracle of life, help them achieve that, and this is going to do that.
So what's it going to do, Senator Cruz?
Well, IVF is amazing technology. 2% of all live births in America come from IVF. We have roughly 200 babies a day being born in the United States from IVF.
a lot of
8 million
babies.
babies have been born using IVF worldwide.
Even more
What Katie
babies.
and I have done is we've introduced straightforward federal legislation to protect IVF, to create a federal right to IVF, which means that no state can ban it. This is an issue that has overwhelming
100
agreement.
senators.
It should easily be 100-0. Every senator says they support IVF. This should be an example where, look, there are issues we're going to disagree on, but we should be able to come together 100-0 and say we stand with the ability of parents who want to love their kids to bring those children into the world.
To Senator Britt in Alabama, this is what brought this whole thing.
Well, hold on, Kilmeade, because I got something to say.
Yeah.
There are a lot of very pro-life people that are a little upset by this.
Okay.
In the sense that what's the classic argument you hear from the pro-life? When does life begin, boys and girls? At conception.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're conceiving of human life in the lab, then you're just putting it on ice. And also you know that the procedure you're setting up, a lot of these embryos will die, will not take. How moral is that? I guess no senator is like a true devout Roman Catholic, because it's pretty verboten, according to Catholic doctrine, to do this sort of thing. I checked with my uncle. I'm like, really? It's a real thing? So I think there are a lot of folks in the pro-life movement saying, wait, I thought the whole point is that we don't play God. We don't actually mess around with human life in this way, or treat it in a way that can be easily disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are some pretty... Even if what Cruz and Britt are putting out there passes, and I think it should pass, it will pass, you still have all these outstanding, unresolved moral questions. There are, thousands of, I don't know the exact number, let's just call it thousands, maybe millions of frozen embryos
millions,
currently stored.
Yep.
What are you going to do with those? And long before the court here in Alabama, the Supreme Court in Alabama, made a decision on this, this was an ethical dilemma a lot of people in the IVF industry were talking about.
Nobody.
What are we
going to
do with this?
Yeah.
And these, by the way, even if you give liability protections, I think that's what this bill does on a national basis, what the state of Alabama ended up doing after that court case. You still have questions of, okay, what happens when you can genetically engineer what your child will look like? You can genetically engineer a lot of stuff about your child. Some people would say, well, you could stop chronic disease.
Yeah, they have genetic counselors now.
Right. But then other folks are like, yeah, but then are we treating children like, boutique items that we get to customize to our heart's desire? Not to mention down the road, I wonder if, say, the United States or China are maybe engaging in genetic engineering for things like super soldiers, like you're literally in the world of Captain America now. It's one thing to go, this is an 86% support issue. 86% of Americans support access to IVF for people who are having trouble to have children.
I can understand
and
that.
I understand
Yeah,
that
totally
that
understand.
support. I have friends who are going through the process right now. But let's not kid ourselves that the ethical questions are going to go away anytime soon, because this technology is just as, if not more powerful than when we were able to start splitting atoms and started dropping bombs using that tech. I think it could get to that point. So let's, be serious. Anyway, ask your question to Senator Brett Kilmeade.
Up, they voted to ban it. And now where is it at?
Yeah, so obviously there was judicial interpretation that caused a chill in the state, but the Alabama legislature, that has been named the most conservative legislature in the nation, quickly acted
Hold
to
on.
make sure that we affirmatively...
Hold on. Sorry, Senator Britt. Who called the Alabama legislature who named them the most conservative legislature in all the land?
She did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, well,
Kind of what I'm thinking too.
I guess I'll defer to Katie.
protected IVF and that procedure in the state. So those clinics are back open. That's moving forward just to make sure IVF is available in every state across the nation. Ted and I want to make sure that it stays that way. We want to speak with one voice, get rid of the fear mongering, any anxiety that parents have as they're trying to bring new life into this world. We want to take that away, and we believe this should be bipartisan.
What's interesting is I watched the Pope last night with Nora O'Donnell, and he is not for this. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, I think that's a moral decision any person can make, and that's a decision they can make according to their faith and according to their understanding of God's teachings. But as a matter of law, this should be a choice that is available for parents because it is profoundly pro-family. It enables IVF enables. I have a lot of friends. I'm sure you do too. That it is how they are parents, and they love their children. They want to raise their children. They want to be incredible moms and dads. And there are issues on abortion that we can disagree on. Katie and I are both strongly pro-life. But that is a very, very different issue from the issue about whether parents should be able to affirmatively choose, we want to have a child, and take advantage of medical technology to help them do that.
And I don't know if we put the full screen up when I was reading, but it's abortion. 15% say it's a deal breaker, 14 say the economy, and 14 say border security. So they're all high up here. For those people who say that in states that want to keep it at 0 weeks, they're looking to register pregnant women, what do you say to that? Because some Democrats are putting that out there.
Absolutely not. It is false, and that is fear mongering from the left. They know that we are the party of families. Republicans are the party of moms, the party of children, the party of life. And we're going to keep marching that forward. Unfortunately, you see the left trying to kind of create stuff that isn't there. And unfortunately, this is one of them. We were never going to have a registry of pregnant women, ever. Hear me that now. We've had multiple fact checks that have said that that is just blatantly false. It is more from the left trying to create a toxic environment because they know that they're actually the radical ones on abortion. They're the ones that want to take a child's life up to the moment the child is
Senator, will
born.
this be an issue in Texas as you try to get 6 more years on your seat?
Well, sure. Look, Texans are very concerned about protecting IVF. And what Katie said is really important. It's what the Democrats are doing. Their position on abortion is really extreme. Every single Democrat in the Senate supports unlimited abortion up until the moment of birth, partial birth abortion at 40 weeks. That is extreme. 9% of Americans agree with that. 91% of Americans say that's too much. And so what a lot of Democrats are trying to do is change the topic. They don't want to defend their extreme position on abortion. So instead they suggest, well, somebody's going to take away IVF. Let me be clear. Every single senator, Republican and Democrat that I know of, supports IVF. But Katie and I introduced this legislation to say, look, don't deceive people. Don't mislead them.
Right.
We'll make it clear. We'll put it in federal law. We will protect your right to IVF so that no state, no local government can get in the way. And it lets Democrats decide, are you willing to actually stand up and protect this right, or do you just want to use it as a political issue?
There you go, folks. No, it sounds like we heard that before. Oh, yeah, Rubio was saying that on the weekend. It's almost like the Republicans, especially the senators, have put together some messaging discipline and actually how to talk about this issue heading into November. It is it's a weird time, but I think it's good because this idea that we had Roe v. Wade for generations, and when you looked at the logic of those rulings, it really didn't hold up to scrutiny. So now that it is kicked back to the states, kicked back to legislatures in the respective states, and also kicked back to the legislature, the Congress here in the United States, this is, well, for lack of a better word, what democracy looks like. But there is going to be a lot of lying and exaggeration, I'll put it that way.
That's what democracy looks like sometimes, Joey.
Right.
Yeah.
I get hung up every time they talk about aborting babies at 40 weeks.
It's nuts.
When I hear the fact that abortion is available on demand up to and childbirth, including childbirth.
I mean, I have two boys that were born at 38 weeks and were obviously full grown babies.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I can't.
And the fact is, most abortions happen before 21 weeks, I believe. Like the vast majority of them. I mean, something like 99%.
But even so, there are babies that live in the NICU that were born before then.
Oh, yeah.
So this whole viability argument, I never understood, because even if you had a full-term baby, a 40-week baby that's born, if you don't feed them and take care of them, they're not viable either.
Right.
So at what point, like, I guess it's okay, you can kill them until they're 3? You know, because they can't take care of themselves.
Have you seen Eddie in the morning? He's not that viable.
I'm all right after my third cup of coffee.
After all the NyQuil goes away.
I mean, my 10-month-old is still wholly dependent on me, you know?
But that's something I honestly don't get. And being in the little world, or the little bit of a world of adoption I was in, I can't believe that that's not more of a viable option for people. I don't, especially the abortion up into and upon delivery. I don't get that. How can anyone, doctor included, be a part of that? I don't get it.
Well, and when you look at polling, when you get down to like, what should the cutoff be? Right, left, Democrat, Republican. If you're going to, there's number one, the pro-life position, never, like the laws we have here in Alabama.
Right.
But if you say, look at people around the vast, swaths of this country, even people who are Democrats are saying 21 weeks. People are saying 15 weeks. So like there is something, speaking to people's common sense and conscience, that they start to realize, oh, I really am killing a child that could have this life that, how dare we say what life they're going to have, what potential they might have. So, but the only way you're going to get through this is through pretty hardcore discussions about it going forward. And I think also letting the states decide, because the states are, especially when you get into different regional areas at this point, we're almost like different countries.
Well, I don't want a national policy on this, because I think it'll just lead to more fighting all the way around.
Right. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Doing all right. I apologize in advance, Madeline, for nothing. But yeah, y'all were talking about that just now, the being born and where to draw lines and all that kind of stuff. I saw this short that what is his name? Ben Shapiro did, talking about, any of those lines that they want to draw, you could draw them to adults too. Heartbeat, there's people who wouldn't have a heartbeat except for this pacemaker in their chest.
True.
People, what's the other one that they like to use? Cognitive ability, brain waves. There's people right now in a coma.
No brain activity.
There's people that brain activity. So the only way to actually draw a convincing line that stands up to both sides of the argument is conception. I thought that was pretty succinct, and he's pretty smart. So,
and yet, though, there are a lot of pro-life people, for instance. Now that some might want to get rid of it, but the morning after pill is still available in Alabama, and IVF, which a lot of embryos end up destroyed in that process, is still illicit. And you just heard 2 pro-life senators pushing protection for IVF. So the lines get blurry any way you go.
Well, I thought the morning after pill was to get rid of the hangover, but what do I know?
You got to stop taking those.
Yeah. Not for you, Eric.
Is that why?
Not for you.
Yeah, that's why they lock them up in Walgreens now, because of men
people like you.
Well, I thought if I had a beard and went in, I don't have a beard, but if I went in there with a beard and a dress, they were going to have to give me an abortion, and I wasn't leaving until I got one. They didn't think that was funny, but, hey. The other thing is, they sat there and said that those guys, the Democrats, are fear-mongering about this abortion, and somebody wants to take away IVF.
Mm-hmm.
I got bad news for them, and this is kind of how we need to look at ourselves, in my Eric's opinion. They're fear-mongering about something that nobody's arguing with them about. They're trying to pass a law. I mean, that you can have IVF. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but they had IVF to begin with. That there's obviously statutes that permit that type of activity to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't care one way or the other. I don't have a personal. It doesn't matter to me. I believe in personal autonomy and personal responsibility. So if you can do it, you're not hurting anybody. It's all those moral questions. It's not up to us to discern somebody's individual morals. We have things in society that you ain't supposed to do that we're turning on their head right now as we speak. When I was growing up, if you were a dude with a beard walking around in a skirt and you didn't get heckled, well, you were probably on an island by yourself. And now that's wrong.
Right.
I guess.
It's not the 90s anymore, big boy.
Yep.
Well, you can hope. Not really. It's just this. We're just as guilty of everything the Democrats say that we say the Democrats are guilty of. We do just as much fear mongering as they do. And my whole point is leave it to the states. Let the states duke it out. Keep your federal government hands in your friggin' pockets, out of mine, out of my business, out of my house, out of my bedroom. Leave me alone. Go be a mom, the best mom you can be or the best dad you can be, and leave me and my house and my community alone. Stop taking all my money. Stop making up arbitrary laws to get your names in front of people because you want to be something bigger one day. I'm just sick of them, man. They're two-faced. Like, I'm tired of them. I'm being nice. Say something funny, Eddie.
Got nothing.
Well, we've only had one comment from YouTube today from Pepper, and it says, "What cruise ship are you captaining for Eddie?"
That guy thinks he's pretty damn funny, don't he?
He is.
Is that a jab at your fishing shirt?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm captain. Team America, baby. Look at the back. Look at the back.
Look at that.
And actually,
Team America.
we couldn't see it because you just saw the back of the chair. So why don't you stand up and...
I don't know if I can operate the camera.
Right there. Yeah, okay. I got to tell you, Eddie, Charlie Daniels would not be... this ain't no rag, it's flag.
That's right.
All right?
needs a...
So that's a print, not an actual flag. So
yeah,
you get
print.
a pass there.
Yeah, it's very much so a print.
Get Eddie a captain's hat and one of those pipes.
A real captain doesn't have to wear a hat. People look at him and realize he's the captain. Usually because he's driving the boat.
Well, if you're not behind the wheel of a boat, then how are we supposed to know, Eddie?
Just look at me. I look like a captain. Thank you.
I'm gonna let you have that because I'm trying to be nice and Madeline's in there, so I'm gonna let you go with that one.
All right.
I love y'all.
See you, homeboy.
Bye, Eric. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hello?
Hello, you're on there.
Oh, gosh, I didn't hear any kind of beep. That's the clearest transition I've ever heard on radio, Joey. Not even a click.
I'm just that good.
God, man.
You don't even notice the click.
That Neuralink works pretty damn good, doesn't it, Joey? The Neuralink must be working very well.
First I was like, are we going to fight? Okay.
Boy, speaking of Elon Musk, I've been reading up on the stuff he's got to get done before we land on the moon. The boy's got a lot to do. I'm amazed at how much they have put in his hands to get to the moon. And he's moving ahead fast, man. You know that.
Right.
I do believe that the Starship lifts off again in 2 weeks. Now, I know, let me get back on topic. In a way, that's one thing that was so great about Ben Carson, you know, who was very much a champion for babies staying alive. And, you know, the first man to do Siamese twins separated at the head, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
A genius, and he made some great statements about abortion. He said, we can keep a child alive. We can save the child. What's the point in aborting these fetuses? Now, one thing that's not required is a man's signature. consider the child would not be there without the man, I think the man is left out of it altogether. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
I don't think it should be illegal without a man, without the other partner's signature. And that may sound really crazy and obtuse, but in a way, it's really justified, don't you think?
Yeah, but how do you know who the other party is? I mean, there could be a lot of don't know them, can't find them, that type of situation.
Eddie, in most cases, it's very rare you got a case where the woman don't know who the dad is. That may be
I disagree.
outside, way outside normal, buddy. We're talking.
No,
this
maybe
woman
outside your
knows.
normal, but not
you just
outside
don't
life,
like.
buddy.
Yeah, some of these ladies ain't loyal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that a
I've
song?
been around a long time. I've been in rock and roll music business and all that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of women with a lot of partners, man. So, y'all too young to hear about all the stuff I heard. But I just feel that is one thing. And, of course, we have lost all morality with all this, all the trans stuff and all that. Again, only place that exists is in the Western world. I can't figure out why we've drank the Kool-Aid so much. But it's a serious problem in the Western world. I don't know how that's probably going to go on for a while longer, don't you reckon, gentlemen?
That's my answer.
Yeah. And because they have not changed Title IX, they have now included trans people and all that community in Title IX, haven't they?
Yep, there's going to be a big legal fight over that, though, for certain.
Oh, I hope so. Boy, thank goodness for the Olympics. I think that seems to be mostly normal people. I don't see the trans people in the Olympics yet. Have you heard any of that going on? In the
I haven't checked that. I know we've got the Summer Olympics coming up right in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. That's going to be... Did you see Simone Biles in her competition last Saturday? This
No.
little woman, God, I ain't never seen nobody tumble so high in my life. These athletes are superhuman.
Yeah.
That's why I get so inspired watching them.
Reminds me of a
Thank
Boy
you.
George song. Appreciate it, Red Top.
See you guys. Roll Tide, go Trump.
Yeah.
You like that song, right, Eddie?
Which
I'll
one?
tumble for.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs.
Mhm.
It's kind of catchy. You can dance to it.
Yeah, it is.
But back
pretty
in the
good.
day, couldn't really get seen singing that too much.
Why?
People would kind of frown on you.
Oh.
Think you're kind of funny, not funny, haha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's called homophobia.
Yeah. Well, back then it was just called Highland Gardens. Or
What,
Capitol Heights.
somebody
or-
accused you of being light in your loafers?
No, but I've seen it happen.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever been accused of it, but I've seen it happen.
I just thought of a George Carlin joke that I can't tell on air. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Hi, everybody. The calendar says May, but we are easing into some summertime heat. Still not too humid, though. Lots of sunshine. High temperature 88 to 90 today. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low in the mid-60s. I think we'll be near 90 tomorrow and Thursday with more sun. Then risk of some widely scattered pop-up random storms here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty typical Memorial Day weekend weather with high temperatures in the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. This part of News and Views brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro Services, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with all your pest control needs. 'Tis the season for termites and mosquitoes. Yeah, it's nothing to wait about or joke around about either. Have you ever been through a termite swarm, ladies and gentlemen?
Ooh.
You ain't going to like it.
Nope.
It's literally the stuff of nightmares. Maybe you got kids or, pets, especially dogs out there. They get curious and they look and, what's this hill right here? Oh, it's a fire ant hill.
Not good.
The fire ants love this time of year. So do the mosquitoes.
Yeah, they do.
So whatever your pest control problem is, especially if you have an emergency, like it's a huge wasp nest in the storage shed, or it really is like, ooh, I need to get termite inspection done. Pest Pro Services, of course, can help you, but I recommend making them your everyday pest control company. Ashley really has put together a great team over the last few years, and they're ready to help you. That number, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. Be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Love how I say your name with such disdain.
I quit listening to you.
For no good reason.
You had a little pause there. It's like you forgot his
I quit
name.
listening to Joey like a minute.
That man over there.
No, and I love how he's like, I quit listening to you as he's answering my question.
Yeah.
I mean, I can listen.
Selective listening.
Yeah, very much so.
I wonder if Ashley and her team have something to handle these cicadas.
Ooh, that's a good question for her.
They got sticks and you can grill them. I've seen a lot of videos of people eating them.
Eating them?
Yes.
I saw James Spann posted a video of somebody like frying them up in a pan.
kidding?
Isn't that gross?
It was disgusting. They put them on a stick and put it on the grill.
I bet you
Why?
frying them's probably the best way.
As long as you got flavored oil of
That's what I
some
mean.
sort,
Yeah. It's probably like crickets.
Still.
But they're big. At least
They're
crickets
meaty
are,
and just-
yeah, at least crickets a little.
Right. And,
Like,
and crickets, when you fry them, they have a tendency to dry out. So there's nothing there. It's just crisp.
what, you're telling me if you weren't like real hungry, you wouldn't like turn over a log and slurp up a grub?
I hate to say that I would, but I'm not hungry, so I can say no, I would never
Right,
do that.
fair enough.
Yes.
Let's go to Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going with y'all?
Pretty good.
Good. On your Roe Wade pro-life, pro-choice argument, I keep hearing people want to extend the 14th Amendment, which established citizenship and life at birth, not before birth. And as you know, we live in our Constitution is supposed to be secular. It's not religious, a theocracy. So this is a constitutional issue, whether you want to extend protection down to when a life is conceived. you're going to change the whole U.S. Constitution to do that. And of course, the Constitution is what the Supreme Court decides it is at that time. But rationally, I just don't see extending the same rights as a citizen to an unborn baby.
Well, and this is why the court did not answer that equal protection question when they got rid of Roe. It's why they kicked it back to the states. They just got rid of Roe, and that's why that's where we are now.
You know that issue of states' rights, the conflict that this country's gone through over that one issue. That's not
gracious. No, so we have to have a one-size-fits-all for everything.
No, federalism has worked for this country throughout the years, and the states' right argument has dwindled, really. So,
to our discredit and our discord, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think pro-life was going to keep this issue alive, and the voters in November will decide.
Well, that's certainly true.
Where they want to go. So, y'all have a good day. Thanks
you too,
for taking
Joe.
my call.
See you, man.
Why don't we just conquer the whole globe then? Actually, don't give them any ideas. I think they would if they could.
Yeah. Don't do that, Joe.
272-9228. Hey, I got another quick break. And I mean quick. It's like 30-something seconds.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
The Harriet 2 Riverboat has the perfect way to start your weekend each Friday with the Spring Dinner Cruise. Enjoy live entertainment as you dine on a delicious family-friendly dinner. Add your favorite beverage from the Cash Bar and dance the night away cruising the Alabama River. Get your family together and make it a family tradition. Boarding starts at 6:30 and cruise starts at 7. Book your cruise on the Harriet 2 now at funinmontgomery.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey. That's Eddie.
What's up, Joe?
That's Madeline.
Hey.
Hey, man.
And Madeline made a fantastic point off air, folks. I believe she said something to the effect of, Joey's so over it today. And that's true. Yeah. I'm done. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
No, I think, you saying I got the fever, the baby fever.
Mhm.
No, I got a cold, I think, from the baby.
You got coming on?
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I don't feel awful. I don't feel right,
just
though.
feel
I don't
it coming?
normal. Yeah. It's like, she did sound adorable, though. It sounded like a purring cat when you know her, but she was congested.
A little congestion.
Yeah. Oh, well. So, yeah, I think, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I mean, who knows? Abortion is going to be a big issue in this election. I think Joe's point there is correct. And I think the Democratic Party nationally thinks it's going to be a winning issue for them. We shall see.
Have you noticed that when the economy and everything else is falling apart, that social issues become the number one issue?
Yeah,
That way you don't look over here.
That's right.
Look over here.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Though I guess abortion is up there because Roe was overturned, and it's about at par with, as we just saw in that Fox clip, with the economy, with inflation, that people are worried about it. So, and in 2022, a lot of people credit that particular issue as why the red wave was, well, more of a trickle.
Well, some of those abortion issues that I personally have problems with, they're ones where they're saying we're going to take military and pay for their abortions to go to the states. And things like that. That's the most ludicrous crap I've ever heard of in my life. And I don't really get involved with the abortion issue. But when I hear things like that, that's just ridiculous. That's abortion on demand is absolutely ridiculous. And especially at that point of, hey, you're in one state that doesn't provide it and you're in the military and now the military is going to give you the benefit to go to another state? No.
Well, and also people were stationed in a lot of places all over the world where abortion was not legal.
I understand that.
For a long time.
But they signed that piece of paper that said, hey, I will go wherever you send me and I will live how you tell me to live. like it or not, that's part of, again, you got a job, you have responsibilities you agreed to. These people that signed up for student loans and now they're getting them free? Hell no. You signed up for that. What if all of a sudden I said, hey, Madeline, I want my mortgage free? The world would laugh at me.
Well, and I just find it, to the question of states' rights and letting very different communities decide for themselves. I think that is an aspect, number one, of freedom. Number
Yes.
two, it creates sort of tensions that allow freedom to breathe as well. The sort of competition over power. And the deepest irony is the more we try to nationalize everything under the sun, have a one size fits all, and the federal government ain't gotten much smaller in the last few years.
Oh, heck no.
It's almost like we've become more divided.
100%, Joe.
Yeah, so let's
keep that going.
Yeah, right.
Working so far, right?
Yeah, it's working just fantastic. 272-9228 if you want to get on the program. Again, that's 272-9228. Let's go to a little bit of military news, and it's from Business Insider. U.S. Navy warships in the Red Sea are fighting off missiles new to combat that are way faster, man, than anything else a destroyer captain is saying. So there are, I think, carrier groups right there in that part of the world. And apparently U.S. Navy warships operating in the Red Sea have been intercepting deadly ballistic missiles that, again, are way faster than anything else. Anti-ship ballistic missiles are a dangerous weapon that no military had ever faced in combat until recently, when the Houthis, of all folks, started firing them into key Middle Eastern waterways late last year as part of their ongoing attacks on international shipping lanes. Since then, the Iran-backed rebels have fired dozens of anti-ship ballistic missiles into the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. U.S. warships in the region have intercepted these missiles on numerous occasions, though some of the weapons have struck commercial vessels. Civilians were killed during an attack in March, for instance. An anti-ship ballistic missile is just faster, way faster than anything else, Commander Jeremy Robertson, captain of the guided missile destroyer USS Carney, told reporters during a media event on Monday. He said that while the missiles are a challenge, we have certain capabilities to be able to detect stuff like that. Yeah, for now, the ones that I've seen are like true carrier killers is the Chinese have them that essentially come down right on top of you. A lot of this stuff is publicly available out there, especially on YouTube. They like showing off their toys, so to speak. There's a lot of different anti-missile measures, a destroyer has, a carrier has. But then you get real close, you have these auto guns that are, I don't even know how many rounds they're firing in a second, but it's absurd. So there are a lot of ways, though I'd imagine if you're a captain of, say, a destroyer there in the Red Sea and you have to use the auto gun, it's way too close for comfort.
Well, years ago, it's probably been about 2 years ago, 60 Minutes did a deal where they went behind, they said behind closed doors, but the U.S. military, and they did a study. They had a Humvee, and they were shooting shoulder fire missiles at that Humvee from about 35 yards. And there was something on that Humvee that could come out at the last second and keep that Humvee perfectly safe. So if they can do that for a Humvee years ago,
right,
they can do it for us.
Well, get a load of this. The anti-ship ballistic missile threat is very challenging and very dynamic, and it's very fast, this commander said. These are certainly very dangerous areas, and every interaction is completely different from one another. He said that his sailors work very quickly to engage these missiles because they must.
Yeah.
From start to finish, the complex process of detecting a threat, making sure it's real, sorting the trajectory, and engaging may last anywhere from 9 to 20 seconds.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah.
And somehow our sailors there are pulling it off. But the world is changing, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop behaving like we're still in the frickin' 1990s.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Well, that's our news. I'm John Scott. In the 2024 election race, Donald Trump outraised President Biden in April. Mr. Trump brought in nearly $76 million, while the president raised some $51 million. The Democrats had routinely outraised the GOP, but Trump's haul in April was boosted by a record-setting $50 million event with top donors in Palm Beach, Florida. European Union countries reaching an agreement to use the profits earned from frozen Russian assets to help arm Ukraine and rebuild that war-torn country. Mourners gathering for days of funerals and processions for Iran's late president, foreign minister, and others that were killed in a helicopter crash. The Dow had 34 points, the Nasdaq adding 5 points. This is SRN News.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans will be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke, or if 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make, and they're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you are blessed with continued prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. The calendar says May, but we are easing into some summertime heat. Still not too humid, though. Lots of sunshine. High temperature 88 to 90 today. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low in the mid-60s. I think we'll be near 90 tomorrow and Thursday with more sun. Then risk of some widely scattered pop-up random storms here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty typical Memorial Day weekend weather with high temperatures in the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
1819 News.
An 11-year-old Opelika boy is now $100,000 richer after making it to first place as a Master Chef Junior. Bryson McGlynn was part of the 9th season of the cooking competition that is hosted by Chef Gordon Ramsay. McGlynn started out with 11 other junior cooks being assessed by Ramsay and 3 other judges for their culinary skills. Bryson sealed the deal on his victory with a 3-course meal that included marinated red prawns as an appetizer, Wagyu filet mignon and squash puree for the main meal, and for dessert, peanut butter mousse crunch with chocolate ganache. Bryson plans to use his prize money to buy his own food truck and possibly use it for future culinary school. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
Police in Semmes have arrested an illegal alien for murder. 29-year-old Antonio Rodas is currently jailed without bond and being charged with drunk driving and causing a deadly crash. Police say that Rodas was driving 88 miles per hour in the wrong direction on a road and had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. This ended with Rodas colliding into another car, killing 19-year-old Adam Luker. The attorney for the Luker family says that had the federal government deported Rodas, this death would never have happened. U.S. Border Patrol released Rodas in 2018 with a date to appear in immigration court. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Mayday, Mayday. More and more new vehicles are arriving most every day in May at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Please contact them and let them know what you're looking for at 285-9300. It might already be on the way. Stop by and get a great deal on a pre-owned car. Larry Puckett has one of the largest selections of used cars, trucks, and SUVs in the River region. If you want to sell your vehicle, Larry Puckett will pay top dollar for it. For over 40 years, Larry Puckett's customers have been telling their friends about the great deals and service they received at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. New cars are arriving daily. Stop by Larry Puckett Chevrolet on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville or give them a call at 285-9300 before you drop by. You can shop them online at larrypuckett.com for details on all offers. Larry Puckett's customers have been doing the talking for over 4 decades. Come by and soon you'll be doing the talking too.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his hand. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Vader and Madeline Cannon here in the studio with me.
Hey, hey.
And Madeline didn't hear this gaffe from yesterday.
Somehow I missed it.
Yeah, this one right here.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Don't you love the little cough before he said it?
Again, so many people have flubbed this word here lately. If I see it in a speech of any kind, I make sure I highlight it. I do everything I can say to make sure I don't say the word erection. But they keep doing it.
Well, for example, this is Chuck Schumer, I think a year or two ago.
Yes.
The Senate will conduct a trial of the impeachment of Donald Trump.
Right.
It will be a full trial.
Right.
It will be a fair trial. But make no mistake, there will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection.
See, he started this.
Wait, the erection insurrection. These people are trying to tear down what I was up to. Like, they really, well, let's hear it again from Joe.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol.
It's so
like he started this
stupid.
great speech.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Now, from the desk of Julie Kelly, apparently tons of new unsealed filings on this classified documents case.
Yeah.
You heard Judge Knapp earlier saying she should be taken off the case.
Yes.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
Well, they've changed some things and come back and said we didn't change them, and now they've come back and said we did change them.
But this is, by the way, why I love having Knapp on the show. Like, the man has his own opinion. I mean, he thinks Israel's committing a genocide.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to have somebody on that because I know where he's coming from. It isn't just like he's going with the wind. The man bases a lot off true beliefs. I'll just put it that way. But on this case, there are now all these unsealed documents, unsealed filings. And so the FBI authorized the use of deadly force at Mar-a-Lago. You remember that big raid? Well, here's more detail on it. Armed FBI agents were prepared to confront Trump and even engage Secret Service if necessary. They were going to go door to door to terrorize Mar-a-Lago guests and even pick the locks. FBI had a medic on the scene and identified a local trauma center for anyone injured during the raid.
On a former president's house.
Yep. Here is the use, this is Julie Kelly, she's got a screenshot of the now unsealed filing. Here's the use of deadly force instructions attached to the FBI's operational instructions. Head of Washington FBI field office, when this was executed, Stephen Don Antonio Bon.
Well, let's just say this.
That guy.
Ask this. Why is that SOB there? Is he still there? And if this was his plan, which he knew, this could have literally started a revolution.
But D'Antano is who I was trying to say. But, who was actually the one who authorized it? The Attorney General, Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland. He's still pissed because he didn't get a Supreme Court nomination.
Right. So the FBI risked the lives of Donald Trump, his family, his staff, Mar-a-Lago guests for a publicity stunt to make it look like Trump stole national security files.
Yep. But are these people going to be held responsible? No, we got Donald Trump on trial.
Well, not unless I'm elected.
Long for that day.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Revenge is a dish best served hard and fast. Yeah.
Keep talking.
Take no prisoners. You give it to him
keep
right.
going.
The day that he signs that paper that says I'm president,
right?
That's when he gives them revenge. Right then and there.
My revenge will be my success.
Oh, you'll be very successful.
It's and only one day I'll be a dictator. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
Good afternoon, fellows. Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, the Mushhead Press now has delivered another word that has to have definition. What is an erectionist? Is that a service provider?
Oh, that's a good question.
I recognize that voice. I know who Wayne is. Wayne, it's Madeline.
Well, you do know, Wayne, contrary to rumor, gigolos get lonely too. And so, I think that is actually another term for that. Erectionist.
That's slang?
I guess.
New term?
Hey, let's hear Biden say it again. Are we even saying it right?
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
The erectionist.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's got. Is that a service provider? What is it? Give us a definition.
Well, I do know that these particular erectionists were storming.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that provides any more clarity for you, Wayne.
A graphic picture.
Well, about.
Oh, look, we've got a comment on the live stream here. Some guy says Jesus wasn't white. Like, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Somebody trying to be
Thank
edgy,
you,
I
Captain
guess.
Obvious.
And don't kill yourself tonight.
Hey, you guys have a great afternoon.
See you, Wayne.
You
Bye,
too,
Wayne.
Madeline.
Thanks.
Thanks, Wayne.
How do you not love that guy? Hey, next time we go to lunch, I'm going to call you.
Okay.
Me, you, and Wayne. We'll have a
Sounds
time.
good.
Oh, really?
Oh, listen, Joey.
Joey knows it'll be the day I call in sick here.
Yeah, look at this. You gonna go fishing afterwards?
No, that's next Wednesday, me and Byron.
Oh, you really? Y'all are just gonna go fishing?
So
Where is Byron today?
I don't know. I was looking for him today. I had something for him.
Mr.
You got the Trump voice down pat. When are you going to figure out how you can talk like Biden? You should use this
Maybe.
clip as your inspiration.
Put a diaper on.
Let me hear it again then.
He calls
He calls
the erectionists.
the erectionists of
Storm Capitol Hill patriots.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
I'm sorry. I've just heard that y'all are confused. Stormy, erectionist, I think there was some confusion there. I think they got their words and ideas conflated. I was just saying.
I think he's talking about Stormy Daniels.
Oh, okay.
See?
Good thing I'm in the studio today
Yeah,
to sort it out for you.
Somebody's on the P's and Q's.
Like I said earlier, I've given up, Eric, so I'm barely even trying today.
No, you can't give up. You can't give up. Just look at
For
your
one
needs,
day I
and
can.
then You can't give up. No, you can't. You can for a little while.
Oh, look,
That's
Dale
not giving up,
Strong,
that's
the North Alabama congressman, newly elected, when Mo ran for Senate and lost. Dale Strong ended up taking that. But he's now, I'm looking at it now. I'll pull it up on the live stream. He's at the courtroom with Trump there.
Oh, really?
Dale's the one right there on
There.
over Trump's right
Spotted.
shoulder.
See.
Dale Strong, looking strong.
Maybe
Is
Mo
that
hooked
Dan
him up.
Patrick, the lieutenant governor of Texas? Wow.
All right, y'all. Take something. Drink you a hot toddy when you get home.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Not you, Eddie.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
You're gonna do that anyway.
I had me a cold bush light, but
Yeah,
appreciate the invite. there.
I'll survive. I'm just
So all these people are coming together as the trial is coming to a close, right?
yeah, like Sebastian Gorka.
I mean, I think it's great they're coming together. I just wish they would have had that same energy at the beginning of the trial.
True, that's true.
This is like a you remember the Where's Waldo books?
Yes.
Like look at all these political figures.
All in suits and ties, and
Yeah.
you find this one particular one.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's becoming like the place to go. Like you got to get down there. You got to like actually show your support in the flesh.
You want to road trip it? How are we doing this? Want to go show our
But we
support?
have to wear blue suits, white shirt, red tie.
got
Even
that,
the
too.
women have to wear blue suits. Like, you know, the whole androgynous look, like that chick in Top Gun. Like you got
a
to
woman with us. We're probably going to have a different kind of lady with us.
What do you mean?
I'll wear a suit. Let's go.
All right, never mind. We're going to have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful lady with us.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, actually, one lady I know who's up in the Congress, who's a brand new congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, she'll wear a suit.
Yeah, I can see that.
But in this clip, she is not wearing a suit. She's wearing a very tasteful jacket. And she's taking Dan Goldman to task.
Oh?
Because, well, Goldman's all involved, I think, with this judge's, like, daughter. Judge Merchan's daughter works for Goldman. And Goldman was actually the counsel in the first impeachment of Trump. He wasn't a member of Congress. He was, like, the lead lawyer the Democrats chose to question a lot of the Trump people.
Okay.
And then he ran for Congress and won. So here's Anna Paulina Luna trying to rip him a new one. We'll see if she succeeds.
I, like so many Americans, have frankly lost faith in the justice system.
Yeah, that's true.
And there was some comments made earlier by my colleague, Mr. Goldman, who I actually very much so enjoying debating with on this committee. But he said that oversight did not have authority in regards to contempt proceedings. And during my time off for maternity, after I was told that I could not vote, I actually spent that time reading the House Rule Book and Manual. And there's something that hasn't been used since the early 1900s called inherent contempt of Congress. It's actually something that any one individual member reserves as their right and authority in the House of Representatives. And the reason why we're here today is because the Attorney General thought he was above the law and did not comply, not just with one subpoena, but with two subpoenas. Those are subpoenas from both Chairman Jordan and Chairman Comer. I want to read this to you because ultimately, if in 10 days the Department of Justice does not do their job and hold the Attorney General responsible, just like they would any other American, I think that it should be our job in the House of Representatives to bring an inherent contempt proceeding against the Attorney General, of which I've already filed that privilege motion over a week ago. And so, although I realize that my Democrat colleagues might have an issue with this, and I'm willing to retract the amendment, I would like to read it real quickly in saying that resolve that if in 10 days after the passage of this report, the Department of Justice had failed to indict Attorney General Garland, the Speaker of the House of Representatives shall issue his warrant commanding the Sergeant at Arms or his duty to take into custody the body of the said Attorney General Garland, wherever found, and bring him to the said Attorney General Garland before the bar of the House of Representatives, then and there to provide documents, materials, and answer such questions pertinent to the matter under inquiry as the House of Representatives may order the Speaker of the House of Representatives to propound and to keep the said Attorney General Garland in custody to await further orders of the House of Representatives.
I'm going to pause before she finishes because I just had to say one term here. Nerd alert!
This is something that we reserve as an authority in order to bring back order to a House that has seemed to have forgotten it. And so with that, Chairman, I just wanted to let you all know, as my colleagues, because I'm sure we will debate this on the floor, I fully intend in 10 days after this passes out of committee to hold Attorney General Garland in inherent contempt of Congress if the Department of Justice does not do their job.
Because, and what Anna Paulina Luna's responding to is that essentially Merrick Garland's like, I'm not going to hold myself in contempt. I'm the AG.
Right.
I'm untouchable in this regard. Well, members of Congress making moves there.
Can we note that she said that she read this while she was on maternity leave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she just had a kid. Yeah.
So, yeah, light reading, right?
I guess she couldn't sleep and just like,
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. Bottle in one hand and rules in the other.
Right. And then she's got all these like sexy photos holding guns and stuff. She was like an Instagram influencer for the longest time. And it's like, I guess you can do it all.
Yeah, you were talking about how to, be trending and an influencer.
Mhm.
Maybe you just need to take a nod from
Anna
Representative
Paulina
Luna.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not that good looking. I'm just not.
Just borrow some of Eddie's captain shirt.
Yeah,
we
right.
Have, we have captain wear we could give you.
Now, I want a palate cleanser because the politics, like I said, I've given up today. I've just given up.
Well, let's have fun
taking
for
it
the rest of the
seriously.
time.
This video came up on my Twitter X feed this morning.
All right.
And it looks like it's from 1980, and it's a British elementary school.
Yeah.
And they ask the kids there in the British elementary school, and you're mostly going to hear the young men responding. Like these, here, I'll pull it up onto the live stream. How old do you think these kids are?
Ooh, I'm going to go 3rd, 4th grade.
So
What do you think,
what,
Madeline?
7, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
8, 9. Yeah, 7, 8.
So they're going to be asked, let's just listen.
I think ladies should be policewomen.
Should ladies be policewomen?
Why? Because they're too softy. No! They'd get all upset if they saw somebody robbing a house. Couldn't handle it. Well, I don't disapprove of it.
Mm-hmm.
But what? But they could fall in love. And then what? And then there'd be chaos!
Jerry, that's so stupid.
I just love that one kid's answer. I don't disapprove of it, but they could fall in love, and then there'd be chaos.
Yes. He's got it all figured out.
He does. He knows that women like bad boys.
Well, and I love all the little girls in the class just getting so mad at these boys here. Again, this is 1980.
Well, I think there should be women, because if they went through a course and, you know, got really fit, they could go on patrols and protect people. She can probably shoot you in the leg and I'd probably hold you, but it wouldn't go through it, and you'd probably fall on the ground, trying to kind of run down and just pick it up and then take out the walkie-talkie and ring up the police car.
A day in the life, you know?
Somebody's got it figured out.
Oh, I love these kids.
For me dance at 4 o'clock in the morning, please. You walk out and then you stand there outside your door and she goes to bed and then you go to the police station.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that little girl just said. Are they speaking English?
It's an English that I'm unfamiliar
That's the King's English.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really aware of all that. Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you men out. You know, things happen as we get older, fellas. As men mature, you know, you can have issues like ED, erectile dysfunction, no fun.
It happens.
You know, and we were just talking about all those microplastics being found in
Yeah,
testes.
buddy.
You missed that part of the show, Madeline.
Oh.
There's a
Well,
new
this
study.
also goes into the gaffe with President Biden.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Exactly right.
And, well, you're learning.
Yes.
You're learning the radio biz. We're not as sophisticated as the mortgage business, but
nowhere near.
But yeah, it was a study that showed, like, in all human and dog testes that they tested, they found microplastics, and it could potentially have all sorts of ill effects, including low sperm count.
Oh, wow.
Or I wonder, because it's not just as men mature anymore, fellas, it's also men even in their 20s are finding they have low testosterone. And people are wondering, like, why is that going on?
Yep.
Well, here's the deal. These are not things to be ashamed about, to deny, to put off getting fixed. So I know guys hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like that. And, you know, what they can do is actually a consultation. So they'll do a consultation, check to see where your testosterone score is, and it's only $99.
That's it?
Yeah, just a blood test. And that consultation, only $99. So if you're lacking energy, motivation, and drive, including a lower sex drive, perhaps seeing weight gain, loss of muscle mass, or maybe you just feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, knowing whether or not you have low testosterone is huge in combating these issues. And, you know, after that consultation, say you do have low T, well, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Gonna keep running for the rest of your life? Fox tonight.
If we work with the feds, she could kill us both.
It's the Cleaning Lady 2-hour season finale.
We'll draw the feds to us like bees to honey.
Kill federal agents? How far would you go to get out?
What side you want to be on?
If you can't do your job, I'm gonna do it.
The Cleaning Lady 2-hour season finale.
Tonight on Fox 20.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey, that's Eddie, that's Madeline. And like I said, I'm kind of giving up already today. So let's go to somebody that we trust, somebody that what we find engaging. Eddie,
Okay.
why are you looking at me all
Because
askew?
there's not a whole lot of people out there we trust.
I don't like your jaundice eye. It's not a good look for you.
Jaundice?
Yes, jaundice.
I know jaundice in babies. I don't know it in eyes.
Why are you looking at me with all that suspicion?
Oh, because you're Joey. And you said that.
That's not quite what jaundice means.
I thought so either. Jaundice was a baby has it. You got to shake them.
No.
Not shake them, but you keep 'em moving to keep the jaundice from happening.
I keep telling folks I'm a fancy idiot. I don't really know half of what I'm saying. But, you know, jaundice eye is actually, like, it's an actual condition. It can get...
Like yellowing.
yellow.
of the-
Crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, but there's an idiom that jaundice eye. What does it mean? To look upon someone or something with prejudice, usually in a cynical and negative way. I would
look
say
at you-
suspicion fits
I
that
look
bill.
at you like that all the time, though.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like your jaundice
Oh,
eye.
I understand you don't like it. But
Right. And I'm a little tired of you feeling your oats in front of me.
How am I feeling my oats?
They come in here with all this energy.
Oh.
Like, oh, I've had such a good day. I got another Airbnb under my belt. I'm making all this money. I've been closing.
When's the last time you heard me come in here bragging about all this money I'm making?
No, I just brought up Feel Your Oats because I remember our very attractive 6th grade teacher.
Yeah.
She, Miss Inzer, I said her name, oh no. She went up to the board. She was trying to teach us about idioms.
Okay.
And she wrote on the board, it was a whiteboard, feel your oats. And all the guys started laughing.
Yeah.
And she didn't understand why we thought it was so funny. But it was.
Our 6th grade experience, very different from each other.
Anyway,
Very different.
the person that what do you mean?
Just different. Did you have a girlfriend then?
6th grade? No. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get her preggers?
Not yet. I had to wait a few years.
Okay.
Oh,
I was about to say that was young.
I was just curious if you found young love yet, Joey. I wasn't saying that you started having sexual encounters at that age. I'm just curious if you found young love yet.
No, I had a crush at that point, yeah, for sure. On an 8th grader.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You've always been into older women.
It's true.
This is...
I've heard they make beautiful lovers.
They understand.
Yeah.
You know, I've been around. Now I've discovered older women know just how to please a man.
Bring you in. This is why.
No, the guy I trust is Peter St. Onge, you dope.
Oh, I love that guy.
Right, thank you.
I love that guy.
Then why the jaundice eye?
Is this one he put out this morning? 'Cause I
Yeah.
saw one.
Yeah. And this is
Very
kind of
good.
a macroeconomic breakdown. Let's listen into Peter here.
Right. Superstar investor Warren Buffett recently announced that he is now sitting on $188 billion of cash. That would be Buffett's biggest hoard ever, and it's almost twice what he was sitting on 2 years ago. In case you wonder who has cash in this economy of ours, Buffett's hoard is concerning for two reasons. First, it suggests he thinks markets are grotesquely overvalued, or that they will crash, or disruptions is how he put it. The second reason is even more ominous. Buffett represents a trend across large American companies of parking hundreds of billions in government bonds instead of investing in actual companies. That transfers America's investment firepower from the productive economy to the parasitic Leviathan feasting on that productive economy. So first, the details. Berkshire's latest financials reported that cash on hand jumped by nearly $22 billion in just 3 months. That eclipses the previous record from 2021. In fact, it's 8 times the amount Buffett had set aside for the 2008 crisis. It gets worse in the letter itself, where Buffett talks about why he is holding so much cash. First, the obvious reason that he thinks companies are overvalued. So Buffett's method is going through every public company with an X-ray and a proctoscope to find value. Apparently, he is not finding it at these prices. Keep in mind, Buffett's been epically wrong before. He was sitting on a huge stash of cash in 2009, for example, on the eve of a historic bull run that took stocks up 6-fold. Still, he's got a pretty good track record. Next up is the unsettling reason. So Buffett floats the possibility of a crash, a quote, market seizure, as he puts it, that Berkshire could swoop into, which is a polite way to say we could see blood on the streets, metaphorically, of course. Indeed, Buffett worries that, quote, markets now exhibit far more casino-like behavior than when I was young. So what would such a seizure look like? It could be a 1987-style Black Monday, when the Dow plunged 23% in a day, or it could be what happened in 2008, when even white shoe stalwart Goldman Sachs came begging for money that Buffett was happy to provide at a price, as analyst Lance Roberts puts it, quote, he who has the gold makes the rules. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Beyond crashes and seizures, the broader concern is what that $188 billion says about the conversion of our once free-range economy into a government zoo. After all, if you've got $188 billion burning a hole in your pocket, you don't bury it in the yard, you don't even bury it in the bank, you park it in bonds, which pay interest. And not just any bonds, government bonds, which are liquid enough to handle the load. In other words, Buffett is taking $188 billion out of the productive economy where it could fund startups or expansions or R&D, and instead he's investing in the federal Leviathan. It's not betting on the American economy, it's betting on the predator of the American economy. Moreover, Buffett is just one of many. So Exxon is sitting on $33 billion despite record oil prices. Maybe they could invest in more production. Ford has 34, Apple's parked 67, Amazon is at 85 billion, and Google has $108 billion. In all, just 20 American companies are currently parking nearly $900 billion in bonds instead of investing in the economy. Seen in that light, Buffett's cash hoard isn't just a warning for today, it is a prediction for tomorrow. Okay, we'll be watching.
Peter St. Onge, ladies and gentlemen, and yeah, there's a reason we trust that guy.
That was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got a good point.
He does.
I wish they'd pour all that money into mortgage-backed securities and drive the interest rates down.
That would
That'd be
something nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be nice. See, if I had $188 billion, I'd buy a lot of Bitcoin. Actually, Michael Saylor did that of MicroStrategy, like convinced his company to start storing their cash actually in Bitcoin holdings for the long run. It seems to be working out for the time being. But I'd buy Bitcoin. I'd buy a lot of things. I'd buy like a big old mansion that I'd live in by myself and be all lonely. Take one light bulb to each room. Like, it'd be nice. I'm from the outside looking in and be like, man, that guy's got it going on. And then if I ever invite you inside, you're like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'd do that. I would buy diamonds from Dylan Rings.
I hope you would.
I'd buy a lot of diamonds from Dylan Rings. In fact, if you go to their Facebook page or Instagram today, folks, it's Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N.
Yeah.
Dylan Rings. You can see some of the diamonds they have there ready to sell. They're absolutely beautiful. And in fact, maybe you've come across some loose diamonds. You want to, set them in a piece of jewelry.
That's a
Josh
good
Ryder
idea.
can do that there at Dillon Rings. And of course, they are a full-service jewelry shop. So repairs, including watch repairs or spa treatments. Don't you like feeling refreshed coming back from the spa? Well, your jewelry will like it too.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be even like pearl stringing. Not to mention appraisals. Their appraisals there, number one, are accurate. And you might be selling yourself short, like you got an appraisal, say, 5-10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Value's changed.
It's very
Big time.
much changed. Or it could be you're in the market for custom design work. Josh Ryder, the man, is a true artist. If you can dream of it, he can make it a reality. So check out Dillon Rings today. Again, you can always go to Facebook or Instagram or DillonRings.com, but I really encourage you to stop by that brand new renovated showroom. Beautiful job they did there. 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie and Madeline on the radio sent you. Let's do a risky click
All right.
here. Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
I think if Joey Clark had money, he would be my first friend that would have a butler, a honest-to-God butler. Yeah.
You get a butler,
Hey,
Joe?
Joey.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, butler would be good.
But Sam, you'd have to change your name to Jeeves.
Jeez.
Too big of a fan of PG Wodehouse that's like, no.
Yeah, man. Anyways, but with all the illegals coming across, we all should have maids at this point. So I'm not knocking you for that or anything, man. But just wishing you good luck, brother.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, man. I'm enjoying the show. We're out here piddling in the garden a little bit, getting some sun. But that's all I got. I heard that. I was just like, I know what you get, brother. You're just an assistant. That's it.
Yeah, no, I'd love to have a Jeeves around.
Yeah. Very, very,
Yeah.
very
Maybe I'll
solid
get a
guy.
cat,
man.
name it Jeeves.
Hey, Joey.
Or get another one, name it Niccolo Machiavelli. Always trying to scheme.
Yeah. It is nice to have a little.
Unify Italy. It's weird. You don't even live in Italy, you stupid cat.
I have moments where I wonder why Joey's single and then he does
Then
this.
it does, yeah.
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 Cat's name Machiavelli.
Some women do
Joey's
it.
going to be. Joey's going to be so married when we get him married. It is. It's going to be wonderful.
Oh, no,
Yes.
yeah, you reminded me with the Jeeves thing. My favorite Woodhouse story is it starts with a guy going to his boss saying, "Can I get a reduction in pay?"
Oh, yes.
And the guy's like, "What? Why would you want me to reduce your pay?" Well, because I promised to marry this awful woman into her family. I got roped into making that promise, but I said I couldn't afford it. So when I hit a certain salary point, I have to marry her. So could you dock my pay? The boss goes, "It's weird, but sure." He's like, "Whew, dodge that bullet." He wakes up the next morning with the woman he's supposed to marry's two brothers showing up with the newspaper saying, "You've won the lottery."
It was a lottery.
And so he has to go through it and marry her, but they go to an exhibit and they go to see this brand new thing called an aeroplane. And the brothers start goading him. This is why I don't want to marry this broad. The family's miserable. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And they're like, "You'll never go up in that aeroplane contraption. You're too cowardly to do something like that." And he's like, "No, I'll do it."
Oh, boy.
And so he goes over, talks to the pilot, and he comes back. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." And they're like, "Well, okay. Your funeral." And there's that whole family that he does not want to marry into. He gets in the aeroplane, and the aeroplane goes up in the air, and it goes and goes.
It just keeps
It
going.
goes across the horizon where they can't see it, and he escapes.
Lucky guy.
Freaking love that stuff.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Joey, listen. In all seriousness, talking about fun stuff. I remember when I got in long ago in the Army in basic training. All us young folks were discussing how we got there. And sure enough, this happens, and I was told this happens more often than you'd think. I have met firsthand a person that told me that it was in the will. He would not get his inheritance unless he did a stint in the Army. And well, I'm sure this service is wide, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? And nothing's wrong with that.
No,
I'm
not
sure
at
he
all.
had a good 4 years, 6 years, whatever it was, and dang sure it helped me. Fellas, thank y'all.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, Sammy. See you, bro.
Good idea with the butler.
I could see you with the butler. Not in a bad way either, but just having a butler.
Let's go to line 3 here. You're on there. Who's this?
Niggas.
Randall, what's up, man?
Hi, Randall. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Miss Nyla?
I'm doing well.
And before I even get to a couple other things, mind you sitting there and tell y'all how these folks really look into the future for you. my first son, older son, you know what I mean, didn't go to college, straight out of high school, went straight to work. She didn't even think twice about it, you know what I mean? Sitting down, they got a brand new house through Alabama Home Mortgage. You know what I mean? Nobody lived in it now. And he coming from a daddy who, you know, been in double wide trailers his whole life. So, and that was, you know, him being wasn't even 21 yet was kind of or maybe he was 21. Anyway, it was either he's 20 or 22, one of the two. But it was still amazing how she just walked him through that, man. Him being that young and owning his own house and to be out there. Then fast forward a couple of years later, and my youngest son graduates from Huntington. Him and his wife now, there's a wife now, and they go to house hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all this credit, you know what I mean, all this school loans and stuff, and they looked at that stuff and they wanted to invest, and they was out there looking at Pike, or they did go to Pike Road, and she didn't approve them because she was like, I don't want y'all, you know, I don't want y'all to get too much on y'all. She said, I really, you know what I mean, that's how she is, and she didn't approve them, but it's still nice they got the house, and I just want to say it's both my kids went through, and she, you know what I mean, just two different ways. She don't just say, hey, I'm gonna write your kids a loan so I can get paid. She wants to make sure that they're gonna be able to take care of it and afford it, and it's not gonna become a headache, a heartache, and it's something they can enjoy, man. That means a lot, and being told no is part of life. You know what I mean, and that ain't nothing. That's just made them look to prove something wrong. And not only did they get the $300,000 house, they done put a swimming pool in the back, done added a big old gazebo, and you know what I mean. They keep adding, and paying off school loans. So it didn't work out like she thought, but she still thought about them in the future, man. And that's something you don't just get from people. They care more about that dollar. And I just want to say thank y'all for that, man. And that's how they are at Alabama Home Mortgage. Y'all can promise you they're gonna have your interest at heart. And I'm gonna tell you, Joy, I heard what you said at the start of the show about you and that black. I got $1,000 if you'll put the video you wearing black beside the video you wear the shirt on right now. I bet you won't ever put. If you do it, you're gonna do it. Take my $1,000. You won't do it.
You know, I do watch back the show, Randall, and I like how the black.
That one looks.
I like this one too.
Yeah, but in the camera, it looks kind of dark, almost black. I mean, it's kind of a gray, right?
It don't on the black shirt makes you look like a blob. It don't have no ending. Your body just a big blob.
Well, we're a talk show. Why are you checking out my body? You know,
looking out for you.
You know, next you're going to be talking about my Joey's got that big gazebo in the back. Like, give me a break.
You got a gazebo?
No, I'm
creeping on me.
You the one that started off the show with it, and you talked about the comments you put. I'm just giving you the comments you want. Then you want me to talk about how many you don't look good? I can do that too. I'm trying to make you look good. I promise you. You look like a flat blob with the black on. You look like a cut man with that shirt on. I promise you. The white, y'all can see where your body ends and on. You cannot see it. When you stand in that mirror with that black on, it looks slimming because you're standing up. When you sit down, it don't look so slimming no more, homeboy. So I'm just telling you the real truth. And look, I had another thing coming to town for y'all, man. If you got kids that dance, sing, anything, Prideful is about to come alive June the 13th. From 7 o'clock to 9:30, man, y'all had y'all kids at Homewood Suite 2 at the golf course at Hilton. And the applause is coming to town, and they are hooked. They are deep. I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna sign 30% of your money over to them, but they are gonna get your people, your base out there, and do their little contract, and then go on about your business, because they can get you in front of the folks, and they're gonna be in Prideful June the 13th. So y'all check that out, man. Them coming to Prideful is a big thing, and they sign everybody: singers, dancers, entertainers, movie stars. It don't matter.
All right,
even radio hosts.
Even radio, I was just about to even radio host, baby. And y'all, but hey, you already signed the Blue Water, so you can't go nowhere.
Sure.
I love y'all.
See you, Randall.
Later, Randall.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Hi, everybody. The calendar says May, but we are easing into some summertime heat. Still not too humid, though. Lots of sunshine. High temperature 88 to 90 today. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low in the mid-60s. I think we'll be near 90 tomorrow and Thursday with more sun. Then risk of some widely scattered pop-up random storms here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty typical Memorial Day weekend weather with high temperatures in the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Good morning. Do you have time for lunch today? My treat.
Absolutely. But what's the occasion?
I'm in love with the new 24/7 Express kiosk at Worth Cleaners. The kiosk is so easy to use, and I can drop off and pick up on my schedule. Thank you for sharing that tip with me.
You're welcome. I'm happy to have my lunch buddy back.
Have you tried the new Worth Cleaners 24/7 Express kiosk? This is the first service of its kind in Montgomery. Customers love the convenience of dropping off and picking up dry cleaning and laundry on their schedule, day or night, 365 days a year. Even if you've never used Worth Cleaners before, you can go to their location at 7825 Vaughn Road today and use their 24/7 Express kiosk. Instructions along with several descriptive photos are posted on the wall next to the kiosk to aid customers who are first-time users. Give it a try. Visit our Vaughn Road location or find Worth Cleaners on Facebook for more information. Your family's clothing is worth it.
Hey there, this is Hannah Grantham with Forest Meadows Homes and Land. And since my partner Eddie Bader and I started advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting, we've seen the results from it daily. Blue Water Broadcasting has become a second family, and I recommend them to anyone looking to advertise their business.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
At Guardian Credit Union, we believe that banking should be personal, just like the relationships we build with members. Imagine a place where you're not just a credit score, but a valued part of our community. At Guardian, our dedicated team takes the time to listen, understand, and tailor financial solutions that fit your unique needs. From buying a car to saving for college and even starting a small business, we've got you covered. Come experience the Guardian difference and let's achieve your financial goals together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. And before we figure out what we learned today, we first have Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet on the phone. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, I am doing great. How about you guys?
I've given up hours ago. I'm ready to go home.
You know what? I woke up at 4 this morning, got up and stretched. I said, no, don't do it. I went right back to sleep. It was great.
you. Now, I'm out of my routine, but it was amazing seeing my brand new niece. It really was, but I think I definitely got a cold from her.
Oh, yeah. See, Sailor was sporting the cold last week, and I treated her like she had a plague.
Yep.
Don't let her anywhere near me.
Summertime cold is kind of miserable.
All power.
I was like, no, love you, and I'll go to your room. But sleep is my superpower. It drives Angie crazy because literally, as I'm falling, I don't know about y'all, but as my head is falling to the pillow, I'm already snoring.
That's a man thing.
Oh, not me. I'm up all night.
Yeah. And I call it my super, like on a plane. She cannot sleep on a plane.
Lucky dog.
I'm there with my mouth open, drool running down.
Yeah.
Everybody looking at me like I'm crazy.
And the guy throwing
Don't-
snacks at you, trying to wring your mouth while you got your mouth open snoring.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a Bowles trait because all the girls sleep like that.
Lucky dog.
Wow.
Poor old Angie, no. So, yeah, she doesn't have that superpower. But I can tell you one thing that will give you superpower is new flooring for Falco Carpet. Not really, but it's a great idea. Let's try it.
I think
I
it's a
see
great
what
idea.
you've been doing this a while on the radio. That was well done.
That was well done, wasn't it? I hope y'all recorded that. I could use that.
So it's carpet, it's traditional hardwood, it's the laminate product, luxury vinyl plank, ceramic tile. Like, you have all sorts of options for resurfacing.
If it goes on the floor, we will do it. If you're redoing the shower, the backsplash, countertops, give us a call, 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down. Just that simple.
285-8117, folks. When you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio.
And if you want a superpower, remember Bravo Carpet.
There you go.
Bravo Carpet. Appreciate it, Ray.
See you, Ray.
So did we learn anything today?
I learned how much I like hanging out with Madeline.
Yeah,
instead
she's
of Madeline,
great.
Joey, and Eddie. I really like the Madeline, Joey, and Eddie. I
I do too. I've had fun.
Yeah, good.
An extra long visit with you guys.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate
I'm
it.
glad you stuck around.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Because, when it's just me
It's
and
just him and I, but also having a female voice and a female way of thinking in here. Big difference. Big
Well,
difference.
Happy to bring that energy.
I appreciate it. Now, next time you come, if you could bring a perhaps single female.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, just
I will hurt you.
For what? Trying to get you?
Yes. Publicly trying to set me up, trying to undermine all my secret plans.
Yes, that's true.
With your jaundiced eye. I'm
Are
tired
they
of
brown? I thought I had blue eyes.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's something I learned
Don't
today.
pretend
You were asking about like recapping what we've
Yeah.
learned today. I learned that jaundice eyes is a thing, not
Yeah.
just a medical term.
Right? So,
Dr. Joey.
one of these days we'll be like, Eddie, you got jaundice. Like, it's not just your eye.
It's a good tan. I've got a good tan going on.
Right. You've got problems. No, we learned that, Congress is just what a joke. We learned that.
I think we already knew that before today, though.
Yeah, but we reiterated. it.
Yes.
It's good to really go over the facts again and again and again, how disappointing and silly they are. We learned that Katie Britt's teaming up with Ted Cruz to try to protect IVF nationwide. That went on a big media tour. We learned that Putin has appointed an economist to overlook the Russian military.
That's true.
He literally hired a bean counter in order to make sure, okay, are we producing enough? And how should we use those things that we're producing? Oh, we learned that Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum is resigning at the age of 86.
Any kind of replacement?
No, that's what people are wondering.
Does he choose his own, I guess?
We also learned that a study found a lot of microplastics in male testicles.
And by the same token, we learned that people don't know the difference between insurrectionist and erectionist.
That is very true. It keeps happening. That little gaffe, I guess people have certain things on the mind. Now, one thing we did not get to, and we can still have time to learn it.
Yeah.
Is it looks like Elvis's Graceland home is up for auction.
That does not surprise me. You ever been to Graceland?
Mm-mm.
It is in the hood.
Yeah?
Yes.
In Memphis?
In the hood. Very much so.
Is it worth visiting?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I haven't been probably 25 years or more. My son went, him and my dad went many years ago, but they enjoyed it. But it's funny, people will tell you take a bus and all that kind of thing, take the tour in, because it's just.
But it's set to be sold at auction after his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, allegedly failed to pay back a $3.8 million loan. Due to be sold to the highest bidder on Thursday, but the granddaughter is trying to halt the court-approved sale.
That's a tough one to.
Now, are they buried on the property? Am I making that
Elvis,
up?
No, I thought Elvis was buried in the backyard. I thought.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. And if you take the tour at the right time, you get to see him walk through the jungle room.
You know, in that movie that they came out with, number one, I didn't like how they modernized some of his songs. It's the same guy who did Moulin Rouge. It's just like, why don't you stop with all the psychedelics, man? It's bleeding over into your movie production. But I thought they did turn Elvis into a very sympathetic character. How much he was talented, number one, but then how much he was manipulated, especially by that manager he had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The Colonel?
I didn't know that stuff in that detail, like how nasty those people got their hooks into Elvis and were feeding them drugs and keeping them in certain spots. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So, but apparently the granddaughter is fighting back. And, you know, we'll see if it's actually
good luck
sold.
to her. It's just, that's going to be tough, man.
Yeah, it is tough.
That's tough.
You were talking about what you would do if you had that money.
$188 billion?
You could buy Graceland.
I easily
I
could
suggest
buy
you buy
Graceland.
the entire 2 or 3 blocks surrounding it as well, and then bring the whole thing back.
Sure. Yeah, we'll
That'd
do
be the
that.
best way to do it.
We'll absolutely do that. Did you see that Javier Milei is making waves?
I've got it in my notes to ask you, how is Javier Milei doing?
Well, here's the latest. Madrid threatens to downgrade relations with Buenos Aires after insult. Why? Because Javier Milei is continuing to insult Pedro Sanchez's wife, and it's awesome. As Spain has threatened to downgrade relations with Argentina after Milei called the left-wing prime minister tainted by his wife's corruption. The Argentine president hit out at Pedro Sanchez at a rally of hard-right parties on Sunday, referring to Mr. Sanchez taking 5 days off his official duties after a Madrid court opened a preliminary investigation into his wife, Begona Gomez, over alleged influence peddling and corruption. Mr. Milei remarked that this showed how socialism led to abuses with leaders who bolted themselves into power. Even when his wife is corrupt and he is tainted, he takes 5 days to think about it, Milei said to Cheers.
Well,
wow. No, so I love that. In the Spanish-speaking world, this sort of style of politics is on fire.
Yep.
And if you want to know my politics, folks, just look up Javier Milei, especially the economics and political philosophy backing this man. But earlier this month, Oscar Puente, the Spanish transport minister, made a quip about Mr. Milei in which he suggested that the Argentinian leader appeared to have been on drugs. That led to a furious response from Mr. Milei, who took a swipe at Mr. Sanchez over the allegations against Miss Gomez, as well as his socialist policies that bring only poverty and death. Huh. Well, I like that.
Trump would be right at home over there as far as like the people aren't scared to say and do is what I mean by that.
Exactly. And I like the fact, if I'm not mistaken, and Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, he is actually having some success.
Yeah. It's actually hitting a budget surplus.
Right. And how long? 2 months? 3 months?
Yeah. And of course, people are going to protest and be like, my free stuff went away. And
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
You know
okay,
what? Tough crap.
Go work.
Tough crap.
Right. Because eventually you run out of other people's stuff. Well, government is that fiction where everybody lives at the expense of everybody else.
Yep.
And eventually the bill comes due. Well, I do appreciate y'all both being here today. You could tell how much I did not want to be here. I just want to be in bed right now. So I appreciate you both being here to help me out.
Well, go take you some NyQuil. Put your big girl panties on. Take your nap. Feel better tomorrow.
Hey, you know I got big girl panties.
I've seen you in them.
Tomorrow's a new day.
I need to get better curtains. Greg Budell is next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana. News